points equals two sides of the scope. Example one was a head-shaking pitching performance that was hit and hit hard from beginning to end. The visiting bats swung their way to a victory in Game 1. 24 hours later, and a 180-degree turn brought Example 2. Taking the mound at home as a Philly for the first time, Roy Oswalt was stingy and in control. His teammates carried his lead and finished off the Dodgers in convincing fashion, holding them scoreless and taking Game 2. Game 1 of the series between the Phils and the Dodgers was all about the Dodgers offense. Game 2 was all about the Phillies pitching. Tonight, it is game number 3 of this series in front of a sold-out crowd here at Citizens Bank Park. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Chris Wheeler. We'll talk to Gary Matthews a little later on. Well, again, Game 1 was about the Dodgers offense. Game 2 is about the Phillies pitching. And, Wheels, the Phillies are hoping that Game 3 is not only about the Phillies pitching and Joe Blanton, but also about their offense.
Well, Tom, they've had good luck with the Dodgers. The Dodgers have not won a series against the Phillies for a long time. So the Phillies are out to win the series here tonight, continue their hot streak here at home, and hopefully have good pitching and good offense. You know, Joe, in his last time out, Blanton had a good outing against the New York Mets in the first game of that weekend series. The Phillies won the game 7-5, but he gave a solid 7, only gave up 2 runs in that game, and had good stuff. He threw the ball over the plate, changed speeds the way that he's able to do, and was very, very effective in that game. We talk all the time about before and after the All-Star game with Joe Blanton, and this year, right along with what his career has been, his earned run average. Look at the difference between the before and after, and he's pitched very, very well. And the Phillies have won 6 out of his last 10 starts. He hasn't won them, but the club has won them, which means he keeps them in the ball game for the most part. So, you know, they expect him to pitch well here tonight. Phillies are going up a very tough pitcher tonight in Clayton Kershaw, so you don't know how much offense they're going to be able to put on the board, but they hope Joe can keep the game close.
It's interesting, Joe Blanton, a lot like the other Phillies starters. 1-1 over his last 5 games, and like every other starter, a whole lot of no decisions. We'll see what happens tonight. It's Joe Blanton against Clayton Kershaw. It's the final game of this 3-game series between the Phillies and the Dodgers. Raul Ibanez, well, he's riding an 18-game hitting streak. He's in the 2-hole tonight. We'll get to the lineups and the first pitch when we return. Phillies windy night as the Phillies and the Dodgers get set for the final game of this 3-game series. The Phillies are just about ready to take the field behind Joe Blanton, who concluded his warm-up tosses and looking to give the Phils a victory in this series against the Dodgers. The umpires for today's ball game. Well, the home plate umpire is Todd Tishner, and he's normally a AAA umpire. He's kind of filling in this series, so it's kind of a kick for him to get a chance to be behind the plate. We've seen him behind the plate a couple different times this year. Eric Cooper's over at first. Mike Riley's the crew chief, and Chad Fairchild, who did a nice job last night, is around at third. Well, the lineup tonight for the Dodgers brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off in left field, Scott Pasednik. Ryan Theriot, the second baseman, bats second. Andre Ethier hits third, followed by James Loney, the first baseman. Ronnie Belliard starts at third base tonight. He'll bat fifth. Matt Kemp gets the start in center field. He'll hit sixth. And the bottom third of Jamie Carroll, Brad Ausmus, and Clayton Kershaw to face right-hander Joe Blanton. Joe making his 19th start of the year. Wheels, he's trying to get back to the 500 mark, but like a lot of other Phillies pitchers, he's really just trying to get into the win column.
Yeah, he's had a lot of no decisions, Tom. In his last 10 starts, though, the Phillies are 6-4, as we talked about in the opening, with way too many hits and innings pitched. But, you know, he doesn't walk a lot of batters. That's one thing about Blanton. Normally, to get on against him, you have to hit the ball. He's not a big strikeout guy either. He'll change speeds. Here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report. And good numbers against the Dodgers. He's also pitched in postseason against them. That's his fastball. When he's down in the zone, he can really use his off-speed stuff. 6 or more innings in 5 straight starts.
Well, as Blanton gets ready to finish up his warm-up tosses, let's take a look at the keys to the game. Wheels brought to you by Nissan.
Well, you know, the Phillies are at that point in the season where winning series is really huge. If you can keep winning 2 out of 3, that means you're winning at a .666 percentage. And Clayton Kershaw is tough. He is a nasty pitcher, but you can get to him with some patience and make him throw a lot of pitches and fall behind in the count.
Well, it's the end of the model year, and Nissan's laying it all on the line. Nissan's bottom line sales event going on now. Well, Scott Pasednik leads it off, and the first pitch is taken outside, so we're underway. Pasednik is 5 for 10 in the series against the Phils, riding an 8-game hitting streak. And he takes one at the knees for strike one.
And the wind is blowing out to left and left center big time here tonight. There was no batting practice. Field was covered. It never rained. But you're going to get a lot. Hitters are going to get a lot of help when balls the other way. The ball Pasednik hit last night that hit the wall is a home run tonight.
Pasednik overall hitting .259 with the Dodgers. He hit .310 this year with the Kansas City Royals, as you got a glimpse of the wins.
He's given them some life. They really like him at the top of the order. He has an 8-game hitting streak, and they really like Theriot hitting behind him because Pasednik's a base stealer, and Terrio's a guy who make contact and hit the ball the other way and protect the base stealer.
He's fighting off a couple pitches here.
He gets a lot of bleeders, you know, because he'll get infield hits. He had 2 of them last night.
And overall this year, he has 135 hits, which would put him 3rd in the National League. But again, that combines his numbers from the American League when he was with the Royals earlier this season. That's a lot of hits.
Yeah, and he keeps fouling them off here right at the start of the game, running, giving Joe Blanton a tough at bat.
The air softly to left. Ibanez not going to get there. That's a 9-game hitting streak for Pasednik. And he's aboard to start the first.
Yeah, that's what he does. He hits them hard, hits them soft. And, you know, the guy bounces around team to team. And, you know, we don't see him all that much, but every time you see him, he looks like he's a pretty good player.
So he's aboard, and that'll bring Ryan Theriot to the plate.
Over there talking to Mariano Duncan, another one of the Phillies' influences here with the Dodgers coaching staff. They have 3 guys.
Mariano Duncan's over at first base.
And, of course, Larry Baugh at third, and then Kenny Howell's a bullpen coach who pitched here for a number of years. There's Dunky. He's funny.
What about that guy? Is he funny?
It's at times.
Theriot takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-1. Theriot's hitting .285, 1 homer and 24 runs batted in. And those are his combined numbers between the Dodgers and the Cubs. His former double play combination. Mike Fontenot was traded to the San Francisco Giants. So the Cubs, who began the season with Theriot and Fontenot up the middle, no longer have either of them.
No, and they came back to tie the Giants 7-7 today, and then just lost in the bottom of the ninth, 8-7.
Andres Torres, an RBI, base hit, won it for the Giants. Pat Burrell hit 2 home runs in that ball game for San Francisco.
He said he hit a slam, huh?
Did, and it was a long one.
He'll be here next week for the Pat Burrell fans, and probably a lot of them still in this area.
Chopper foul, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the current wild card standings look like this. The Phillies tied with the Reds, a game and a half behind the Giants. Now, if the Phillies win tonight, they'll be a game back. A half game is because the Giants have already won today. The Reds, meanwhile, are off today. The Braves are off as well. We'll get to that in a moment.
See, even after tonight, the Giants will have played 2 more games than the Phillies.
Softly hit towards second. Valdez thought about second, but instead he thought wisely and threw to first. One away.
And that was a good play by Wilson. He really charged that ball well, and he was trying to beat Pasetnik to it. Get it, tag him, throw to first, double play. Pasetnik's just too fast. And he also realized, you know what, I better not throw this to second. Watch him come charge it. Now Pasetnik is well by the ball at that point. He takes a quick look. He knows he has a slower runner who is the hitter as opposed to the base runner. So he had a chance to peek and know he still had to be able to get the runner at first base.
So the Dodgers with the runner in scoring position. Here's Ethier. And he takes a fastball for a strike. See Ethier's numbers against Joe. Ethier and James Loney have combined to pick up 10 hits in 19 at-bats against Blanton, and those are the next 2 hitters. Joe trying to get through the first inning without allowing a run. That's been one of his issues this year, allowing first inning runs.
Like it is for a lot of starters.
1-2 the count. A foul ball back to the seats toward the Hall of Fame club. During the 2010 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream. Sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
He uses his changeup really effectively, these left-handed hitters. Not this pitch.
Fastball hit to the right side, and it skipped right to Valdez. The runner moves to third, but there are 2 outs.
Yeah, Joe wanted to come inside with that and missed his spot, but still got the out.
Well, this has been a busy day in the National League, and in particular the National League East. How about what went on last night after the Mets game? Francisco Rodriguez placed on the restricted list, suspended for 2 games by the Mets, and arrested and charged with 3rd-degree assault, which is a misdemeanor up in New York, for allegedly attacking his father-in-law in the family room at Citi Field last night.
Wow.
Chipper Jones, it turns out the knee injury he sustained the other day is a torn ACL in his left knee. He's out for the year. Mike Stanton had a 5-hit night last night. He continues to surge for the Florida Marlins.
See that on Chipper. That's a shame because, you know, a lot of people thought he may retire at the end of the year. Now you wonder if he's going to be able to play again because that's a long rehab for an ACL.
It's almost the same thing that happened to Jamie Moyer, different part of the body, but he's facing the same kind of decision.
Yeah. And, you know, Chipper Jones has such an unbelievable career with the Atlanta Braves, and we've seen the whole thing because he's been with the same team his whole career playing against the Phillies in this division because the Braves had moved over there, moved over to this division right after he came up.
3-0 the count to Loney. It's almost as if Blanton's working around him here with Ronnie Belliard waiting on deck.
I'm trying to think with the Braves, they may have had 1 year still in the Western Division when Chipper Jones came up, or his first full year may have been their year over in the National League East. But anyway, it was right around that time. So we've basically seen his whole career right here in this division, and probably a Hall of Fame career.
4. Loney walks on 4 pitches. So runners on first and third here in the first. And that'll bring Ronnie Belliard to the plate. Pasetnik over third. And Loney takes his spot at first.
Yeah, they did throw a lot of off-speed pitches to him there. And as you said, Tom, maybe pitching around him. Belliard is one of those guys. He can hit anything, though. You know, he's a wild swinger. Swing in any area.
Hitting only .225, but he did a nice job for the Dodgers the last couple of years.
He's always been a good extra man on a club.
Line drive, base hit into center field, and the Dodgers take the early lead. 1-0 as Pasetnik scores from third. And again, Joe gives up a first inning run. It's an RBI single for Belliard, just his 17th RBI of the year.
Pasetnik setting the table for them again with that little bloop single, and then move him around, scores on the head. There you go, what Tom's talking about with these first inning runs. Like he hit a changeup or an off-speed pitch, huh? Changeup, and it ran right back into the middle of the plate.
So Belliard's at first, Loney's at second. Good sized lead for both. Matt Kemp the batter, and he takes a fastball for strike one. This is the first start for Kemp in this series. He had 2 pinch hit appearances in the first 2 games. Overall, you look at those numbers, you think, well, that's not that bad, but he really has struggled since the All-Star break. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike as that fastball misses outside.
Yeah, look at the difference.
More in the production. Just 12 RBIs in 26 games since the break. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Well, you can see with that pull-off swing he has working right now. That's what he's doing. He's diving, pulling you off. But he's dangerous, and with that wind blowing out to left and left center, you do not want him to get one elevated out in that area because he's really strong.
24 pitches for Blanton in the inning. Matt Kemp last year, 26 homers, 101 RBIs. He had 297. And he takes a changeup, and it's 2-2. In fact, they were so optimistic about Kemp and Ethier and how good they were going to be together this year. They put the 2 of them on the cover of the media guide. That's usually an indication that you're, at least for this year, a foundation for the organization.
Yeah. Felt that those 2 guys are the future.
Chopper left side. That's going to sneak into left field, a base hit. Loney's around third. He's going to score. Ibanez's throw comes to the plate, but it's 2-0 Dodgers. And again, it's just the 13th RBI for Kemp since the All-Star break. So he's given up an RBI single to Ronnie Belliard, who has just 17 on the season. And now an RBI single to Matt Kemp.
You know, we don't know if he pitched around Loney or not, but if they did, it's kind of backfired. Because 2 straight right-handed batters have gotten base hits. Now, granted, that one right there was a seeing eye, 100 hopper, but still, they got through the hole. And it's 2-0, and they're still going.
And Jamie Carroll is the batter. Carroll making his 46th start of the year at shortstop. And then Blanton falls behind, 1-0. 1 for 8 in the series. He's been on base 3 times with his 2 walks. Blanton, his last outing, went 7 innings. He allowed 2 runs on 7 hits, picked up 4 strikeouts against the Mets. He received a no decision in that ball game. We mentioned since the All-Star break, it's been kind of the storyline for him, like a lot of other Phillies pitchers, where he's pitched okay but hasn't gotten a decision. A looper toward left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Belliard's going to score. It's 3-0 Dodgers. The throw went to third, and that allows Carroll to go to second.
Well, it's just sloppy play right there by the Phillies, too. You know, they give up the hit, and that's bad enough for the third run. But then Jason knows he has no reason to throw that ball to third base. And he did. And, there's 2 outs. but you still put another runner in the scoring position. Not only could a double play away, but you took a force away and have another runner in the scoring position. I don't know what he was thinking there, and he's off balance and has no shot at Kemp. And Jamie Carroll's a very sound player, and he sees that and just moves into second.
Well, now Blanton falls behind Brad Ausmus, and he's thrown 31 pitches in this first inning.
Yeah, this is, and all these runs with 2 outs.
And now they're going to have to walk Ausmus intentionally to face Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, right now you're already looking at getting into the part of the bullpen you don't want to get into, where they got hurt the other night.
The bullpen is 1 man down compared to the other night. Antonio Basardo has been sent out to Lehigh Valley because Shane Victorino was activated earlier today. Now, the Phillies were 1 up in the bullpen with Bastardo. So Brad Ausmus is intentionally walked. The bases are loaded with Kemp at third, Carroll at second, Ausmus over at first. And here's Kershaw, just 2 for 40 this year. A good athlete, not much of a hitter. And he takes a swing and a foul. It's 0-1. That one's hit foul over the Dodgers dugout, and it remains 0-2. I always thought as a fan when I was a kid and I came to the ballpark, when the other team batted around in the first inning and you just barely sat in your seats, you're sitting there thinking, oh no.
Oh no is right. What you have to try and think is, oh, it's early.
Yep. That one's hit hard, but right at Valdez. He's got it and throws to first. The side is finally retired, but 9 men come to the plate in the inning for the Dodgers. They scored 3 runs on 4 hits. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Dodgers 3 and the Phillies coming up. For 2010, let's take a look at the lineup that he'll look at tonight. Brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Raul Ibanez, the left fielder, bats second. Placido Polanco hits third, followed by Mike Sweeney, the first baseman. Jason Worth is in center field. He'll bat fifth. Ben Francisco's in right. He'll hit sixth. In the bottom third are Carlos Ruiz, Wilson Valdez, and Joe Blanton. And they'll face left-hander Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw, just 22 years old, making his 24th start, and he's got pretty good numbers, a 3.19 earned run average.
Now, a few things jump out at you there. Look at the strikeouts. Look at the hits per innings pitched. Left-handed hitters, 193 against him. But as we mentioned, he can get erratic, and that's what you have to hope happens here tonight, because when he's on his game, he's really a problem. He has great stuff. He's very young. Pitches a lot better at home than he does on the road, and that's another thing maybe in the Phillies' favor. And you see he has not pitched well against the Phillies, especially here in Philadelphia. He's going to throw fastball, curveball, slider. Really doesn't throw a changeup. You know, his curveball and his slider are kind of an in-between. It's hard to tell them apart sometimes. And his fastball, he really likes to throw it a lot.
Well, he started 2 games against the Phillies in the National League Championship Series. And his numbers, Wheel said, are better in L.A. than on the road. They're also way better in day games than night games because sometimes he's just tough to see. Jimmy Rollins leads it off. And Jimmy takes a 93-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike.
Well, his delivery's kind of funky. He has like a little hesitation in it. He's just really good. He's young and he's still learning.
Rollins for the series is 3 for 9. He's really picked it up here at home. In fact, he's on an 8-game hitting streak at this point. The Phillies have a handful of guys that are riding hitting streaks. In the air on the right side into foul territory. James Loney's over. And he's fighting the wind, but he casually makes the catch. 1 away. Well, here's Kershaw's numbers, regular season and postseason against the Phillies. And, you know, really, none of them stand out as being good at all.
No, they've had very good success against this guy. But, you know, everybody gets a little bit better when they have a 3-0 lead before they hit the slab out there.
And the other thing, too, is they get better as they get older, too. You know, when he pitched against the Phillies the first time, he was 20 years old. Now he's 22. Not that that's a huge jump, but it's still a jump.
No, he and Hamels matched up in a heck of a game last year out at Dodger Stadium that Cole won.
2-0 the count to Ibanez. Raul is on an 18-game hitting streak, which is the longest current streak in the National League, and it's the 3rd longest in the season. Buster Posey of the Giants hit in 21 straight from the 4th of July till the 28th of July. And you see what Ibanez's numbers look like during this streak. He has scored 16, he's driven in 17, but he's also walked 14 times. That's a big deal.
See how many fastballs Kershaw's thrown. It's at 7 pitches, 7 fastballs. And he has a 3-run lead, so you would expect him to throw a lot of them.
Good pitch to hit there for Raul, and he fouled it back. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Patty Davis of Ambler, PA. If the Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, Patty's going to win $200. Get the feeling there's going to be some bombs tonight. The way the wind is blowing out toward left. The wind might take that one out of play, and it does. Wow, did it move.
Yeah, that gives you an idea. The ball that Jimmy hit looked like it was in the... This looks like a spring training game with the wind. The ball that Jimmy hit looked like it was out of play down the first baseline. You saw Loney laughing after he caught it because the wind blew it back into fair, and not in fair territory, but onto the playing field, and he caught it easily. And you can see him talking to Terrio on his way back, like, "Oh man, did you see that?"
In the air to center field, Matt Kemp on the run. Got a good jump on it. And that little leap at the end puts it away for the second out. Still a pretty good swing by Ibanez against the left-hander.
Just locked into a 3-2 fastball and smoked it. Nothing you can do about that. Kemp had it all the way. It was an easy play for him.
And now with 2 outs, here's Polanco. Polanco, he also has a hitting streak going. 10 straight games. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Second in the league in hitting at .319. Hitting .359 here in the month of August. And a liner toward left, a base hit. That's an 11-game hitting streak for Polanco.
Finally threw something off speed there. You can see Polly was out in front of it a little bit. Say changeup is by far his 4th best pitch. He doesn't even throw that many of them. That was a changeup. Well, he's going to throw a few tonight, I guess. And you see, he just got out front, hit off the end of the bat, but you know, he's such a good contact hitter.
And he's locked in such a groove right now. Now with 2 outs and a runner at first, Mike Sweeney is the batter. Sweeney playing first base tonight. He came on in last night's ball game for the injured Ross Gload, and he loops it to right. Terrio going out. It drops right in front of Ethier. Polanco was running on contact. He'll go to third. And the Phillies have runners on first and third with 2 outs.
Yeah, Ethier and Terrio haven't played together that long, and Ethier thought they were going to run into each other, and he kind of shied off a little bit, and Terrio couldn't get there, so it drops in. See, Sweeney gets in. Now, here comes Terrio. He really can't get this. Now watch Ethier right there. He took a peek at Terrio, and he thought, here, watch it again. Right here, he's going. Then he takes a look down. Now it's too late because he didn't know where his second baseman was. He didn't want to collide. And by the time Terrio had peeled off, the ball dropped.
Well, they peel to second base. Dodgers thought Polanco missed second, going over to third. But Mike Riley says, I
think they saw him stumbling a little bit in the area of second base, so that's why they appealed it. Joe Torre asked for that.
With 2 outs, here's Jason Worth with runners on first and third. Phillies trying to get a run back, trailing at 3-0.
You get a ball in the air right now to left and left center with a right-handed hitter, you can get it all back.
See what Jason's done over his last 7 games. A 7-game streak, hitting .423. And it's over for a strike. It's 1-1. That was a slider from Kershaw.
When he first came up, he threw a lot of fastball, curveball. Now they say he's throwing more of a harder breaking ball slider. Doesn't mean he's gotten off his curveball, but he doesn't use it the way he used to when he first came to the major leagues.
Pretty good pitch to hit for Jason, and he fouls it back, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, Brad Ausmus is really a veteran catcher. He'll do a good job, I would think, with a young pitcher like Kershaw. A lot of times you want to get off a fastball when a guy fouls one straight back like that, but then again, maybe he doesn't want to go to 2-2, so see how they decide to work him here.
They go fastball. He hits it towards center, and it's not that deep. Kemp makes the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left for the Phils. We've completed 1. We go to the second. Phillies trail it by 3. At 2010, featuring play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts. Visit Phillies.com today on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry for more details. Now we go to the second, and the top of the order is up for the Dodgers after they batted around in the first and scored 3 runs on 4 hits. Joe Blanton threw 38 pitches in the first inning, and that's not his season high. Can you tell me, Wheels, what game was his season high?
No.
Boston Red Sox, 42 pitches in the first inning of that ball.
That was when that guy hit the grand slam in his first at bat. First major league at bat.
Yep.
Switch it.
The Nava kid.
Nava, right.
Joe Castiglione, the radio voice of the Red Sox, said to Nava, you go up there with your first at bat, look fastball.
Yeah.
And he did, and he hit it into the bullpen.
Look at that. Is he another palindrome, Nava? Is that spelled the same? No, it isn't. That isn't spelled the same backwards and forward.
That would be Avon.
Yeah.
Or Avon.
Well, here's Joe's problem started right out of the chute with this guy, Posednik. He kept fouling off pitches like this, and then finally blooped one to the outfield. But he gave up 3 2-out runs.
Yeah, the hardest hit ball of the inning was Ronnie Belliard's single to center.
And Kershaw's out to end the inning.
That's true. Slaps another one towards short, backhanded by Jimmy. Sets himself, throws to first, not in time. But Posednik is fast.
Oh, he can fly. He's amazing considering he's in his mid-30s now.
Infield single.
That's the 3rd infield hit he's had in this series.
And his 7th hit overall. 38th 2-hit game of the season.
And Jimmy does everything he can there. He backhands it. He gets a lot on the throw. Skids the hop, and Posednik just beats it.
Sweeney say, we got him. And Eric Cooper said, Good move over by Blanton. He nearly got Posednik. And they have to keep an eye on him because Posednik can run. He's 4 for 4 with the Dodgers stealing bases. He stole 30 bases with the Royals. Got that little cover on his hand just to protect his right hand.
There it is. He gets back. That's why, they really like a left-handed first baseman a lot of times, because they get it down quicker just because of where they catch it. And they also protect the hole a little bit better. That's why you see so many. Whoop, another good one. You see a lot of, left-handed first basemen.
Yeah, I didn't like that when I was growing up, left-handed first baseman.
Well, they can only play so many positions if you throw left-handed. Kind of limits you.
Towards center field, Jason Worth ventures back, makes the grab. Posednik goes back to first. 1 away. In that first inning, Blanton, after Posednik's single, did get the next 2 hitters. And with Posednik on third, that's when he walked Loney and allowed the base hit to Belliard, and then the Dodgers wound up sending 9 men to the plate and scored 3 runs. Ethier grounded out to second his first time up. And he slaps the first pitch foul. There's a sharp contrast, and this is normally the case for Ethier, between right-handers and left-handers. He's hitting .328 against right-handers this year, and well below .300 against lefties.
This game is rapidly becoming a big-time problem for the Phillies, not only because of the score, which, it's not that big a deal, but because of this pitch count and the problems that they have in middle relief.
Well, the good news is only 2 guys worked last night, and Matson and Lids, so maybe that off day freshened everybody up and will give the bullpen a little bit of a reprieve for tonight. As Roy Oswaldo went 7 strong last night, picked up his first win in a Phillies uniform. One and 2 the count. That's the pitch count Wheels is talking about. Swing and a miss. He got it. First strikeout for Blanton. And that was a good changeup. And there are 2 away for Loney.
I mentioned the changeup is a good pitch for him, the left-handed batters, and there is one. And Carlos does a nice job of blocking it. that case, the batter can't go anywhere, but the runner at first base can advance to second.
So Ethier, after getting 4 hits in his 4 at-bats, official at-bats in the first game of this series, is now hitless in his last 6 at-bats. Part of the reason why the Phillies were able to win last night's game 2-0, because they kept him off the base paths. They kept a lot of guys off the base paths. Toward left field, Ibanez heads back, now comes in a little bit, makes the catch in the side. He is retired. A little different inning for Joe Blanton. In fact, he throws 12 pitches, gets through the Dodgers here at the top of the second. Then Francisco will lead it off when we get back. Gary Piven in the acclaimed comedy series Entourage. That's weeknights this fall on MyPHL 17. Bottom of the second, Ben Francisco leads it off against Clayton Kershaw. Phillies had some pretty good swings against Kershaw in the first. They had a couple of runners aboard but didn't score. Francisco pulls it toward third. Belliard makes the play. 1 away. Charlie Manuel was asked today about Francisco playing right tonight instead of Worth being in right and Shane Victorino being in center. Victorino was activated earlier today off the disabled list after having a good couple of days in Lehigh Valley. And Charlie said that after last night's ball game, he wasn't sure if Victorino would be activated for today's game. The plan all along was to have him ready for tomorrow's game against the New York Mets. So he had already told Francisco that he was going to play. And he had already written out the lineup, so he figured out I'll just go with it for tonight, and then I have Shane available off the bench if I need him as the game moves on. And Raul Ibanez has been swinging the bat so well against righties and even lefties. He wanted to make sure he was still in the lineup. One ball, one strike the count to Carlos Ruiz. 0 for his last 11. And he breaks his bat, loops it to center. Kemp didn't get a good start. He comes in and he plays it on 1 high. Fortunate break for the Phillies. And Carlos is aboard.
And Carlos, as Tom said, had a little offer going. His swing's gotten a little. We talked about that the other day in one of his at-bats. You could see his swing was getting a little long again. And right there, he breaks his bat, gets a base hit, and that can do a lot just for your psyche. The Kemp did bounce away a little bit, but Ruiz not going to go anywhere. We're down by 3 runs.
And with 1 down, Wilson Valdez will bat. Larry Valdez and Joe Blanton.
Larry Bowe was saying before the game, you know, Ruiz kills the Dodgers. He says Johnny Bench is about due to have a big game tonight. I said, what do you mean? He said Ruiz. And I thought, yeah, that's right. Carlos does really hurt them, and especially in postseason, but even during the regular season.
Yeah, hitting .444 in his last 8 games against the Dodgers. Breaking ball, that drops in for a strike to Valdez. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Mets defeated the Rockies 4-0. They didn't need Francisco Rodriguez today because Johan Santana continued his hot pitching. He got the win. It was a complete game shutout. His 11th career complete game, his 8th shutout. And it's only the 2nd series win for the Mets since the 27th of June.
And they still haven't won 2 in a row since June 23rd, I think. I mean, they won the series there, but they didn't win 2 in a row.
Well, let's hope that continues this weekend.
Yeah. We won't use that this weekend. Use that note.
Maybe we'll use it on Sunday.
We'll
when
use
the Phillies are going for the sweep.
We'll use it when things are looking all right.
Into the count to Valdez. And he stays alive. Saw Juan Castro today walking in. Valdez, because of his play, earned the spot as the utility man over Juan Castro. Castro is now with the Dodgers. Just called up yesterday. It's good to see Juan. He was a good guy when he was here in Philadelphia. Opposite way, over the head of Loney. That's a fair ball. Hits off the brick wall, and over to third goes Ruiz. Valdez is going to stop at second. The Phillies have 2 aboard here in the bottom of the 2nd. Tenth double of the year for Wilson Valdez.
Yeah, it looked like it was just inside the chalk line. Gets a little bit of a late swing right there. It's slicing. Oh, it's about 5 feet fair. Fair by a lot more than look from our angle.
And Wilson Valdez is safe at second base, safe and secure with New York Life. So Wilson, with his 10th double of the year, is in scoring position with Ruiz. Joe Blanton is the batter.
I got to think, even though they hate to do it, that they'll play the infield back here and give up a run with a 3-run lead. And don't want to take any chances that Blanton could squirt one through. They're looking in the dugout. See, there's all kinds of instructions coming out of their dugout. And they finally said, go back. You know, they don't want to do this. Hate to do it with a pitcher hitting. But they have a 3-run lead, and there's no reason to play the infield in.
And they probably figure if the ball goes to one of the cornermen or to Kershaw, if Ruiz happens to break toward the plate, they've got to play at the plate.
Yeah, if they want to, you know, I mean,
if they want to,
just get it out. If it goes to Kershaw, yeah. I mean, no, he's not going to break probably. But they just want it out. But they don't want to have everybody in where a little bleeder could get through and the Phillies could get 2 out of this and then have the top of the order coming up with 1 out.
1-0 the count to Blanton.
It's basically, you know, if Blanton puts the ball in play and hits a weak ground ball and they get a run out of it, so what? There's 2 outs and we're up by 2, meaning the Dodgers are up by 2. But managers just hate to play the infield back like this with a pitcher up and a runner in scoring position.
So last night the Dodgers played the infield in with Oswald up, but that was obviously a low-scoring game.
Right.
Blanton chops one off the plate. Phil should get a run. Here comes Ruiz. He'll score an RBI and a ground out for Blanton, and he gets Valdez over to third. It's a 3-1 game.
There you go. Joe Blanton, great job. Made contact there, and he got himself an RBI. Now, if they had the third baseman weigh in, there's no way Carlos is going to be able to score that. Even if he goes on contact, he's going to be out. But the Dodgers did the right thing, and the Phillies get a run out of it. There's 2 outs. Here it is. Joe makes contact, beats it right off the home plate area, And a smart play by Belliard, too. Doesn't even think about home plate. Just throws it to first.
First RBI of the year for Blanton.
He did take a little peek just in case maybe Ruiz fell down or something.
That's human nature, I guess. And Rollins takes a slider for a strike, and it's 0-1. Jimmy popped out into foul territory his first time up. To Loney over at first.
That's a nice run, though, to get at the bottom of the order.
Be even nicer if they can get that other run.
Oh, well, this would be sweet if you get a 2-out run here.
0-1 the count to J-Roll. In the dirt, blocked by Ausmus.
Could be a real momentum thing for the Phillies here if they could pick one up. Another one up.
Good numbers for Jimmy. With 2 outs and runners in scoring position, he has Valdez at third. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. 2 away here in the bottom of the second.
Kershaw has 4 wild pitches. There's Joe Blanton with his first RBI of the year. And his 3rd major league RBI. Not counting his homer. In the World Series, which they don't show up in these kind of numbers we're throwing out.
But are remembered by the guy that hit the home run.
Absolutely.
Jimmy this year is hitting .339 against left-handed pitching. He and Shane Victorino, both switch hitters, have hit better against left-handers. Over toward the hole. Belliard cuts it off. Bobbles, gets the grip, and the side is retired. So the Phils have stranded 2 over third. They do get a run here in the second on the ground out by Blanton. We've completed 2. We go to the third. It's 3-1 Dodgers. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wills, the question is, who is the only pitcher to win the Rookie of the Year award, Cy Young Award, and Silver Slugger in the same season? Answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Ronnie Belliard leads it off here in the top of the third. Belliard had an RBI single and a run scored in the first.
Rookie of the Year, Silver Slugger. What was the third?
Cy Young. So he must have been a pitcher.
Yeah. Some athlete, huh?
contrary to what Sarge says, pitchers can be athletes.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we go along with, I'm not going to give the answer, obviously, but if we go along with the theory that the Dodgers are in town, I got to guess.
Broken bat roller to shortstop. Rollins over to first. No yards, retired. And one away. This guy, you could also throw the Gold Glove in there. He didn't win it that year, but you could throw it in there because he was, as you said, a good athlete. Matt Kemp had an RBI single his first time up. On the outside corner, it's no balls and one strike. Swing and a miss. On the hands, that was a good pitch from Blatt. Jimmy waited on it and has to hustle the throw over to first for the second out. So 2 away. Well, Wheels mentioned it before. Pat Burrell and the rest of the Giants will be in town next Tuesday to start a 3-game series. All 3 games are at 7:05. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. You remember a couple of years ago how important the 4-game series was against the Milwaukee Brewers that the Phillies swept out. Well, Brewers were leading the wild card at that time. Giants are leading the wild card now. So those are 3 important ball games here in Philadelphia. Last time the Phillies will face the Giants during the regular season. Jamie Carroll is the hitter. He singled and drove in a run his first time up, but it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Carroll.
The time the Phillies did that wild card thing with the Brewers, they had basically given up on first place with the Mets that year. There was no shot, you didn't think, and then the Brewers came in. What were they up by 3 or 4? 4 they were up. 3 or 4 in the wild card, and they swept them. They're up by 4 and wound up tying them, which was remarkable. And then they overtook the Mets and won the division.
That one just missed, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joe certainly has been in a better rhythm since that first inning. His tempo is pretty good on the mound, too. Part of that is because there haven't been any base runners. Francisco into the alleyway, and he legs it out, makes the catch. Side is retired. 1, 2, 3. Go the Dodgers here at the top of the 3rd. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. The Phillies will have Ibanez, Polanco, and Sweeney. Clean finish, it's what we do. By Suzuki and the new Kazashi midsize sports sedan. Suzuki, the power of engineering. And by Xfinity, it's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. The grounds crew had to work extra hard to get the field ready tonight because the field was covered for a good portion of the afternoon. There was some rain in the area. It did rain a little bit. And after they took the tarp off the field, the only thing that was left was the wind, which is still here and blowing out from right to left. As Raul Ibanez leads it off in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, they covered it as a precaution and called off batting practice and all here tonight just in case. And as you said, it really didn't rain here, but they didn't want to get caught with a tarp off and then, you know, have the field get damaged and then have to spend a lot of time getting it ready afterwards. And so everything worked out fine.
And the pregame concert in honor of the Jewish Heritage celebration at the ballpark went on as scheduled.
Yeah, it was like nothing happened here tonight. Just a normal night. Just didn't have batting practice. Actually, 2 nights in a row because they didn't have it last night on account of the Powell game.
1-2 the count to Ibanez. And Raul lays off. It's 2-2. Raul lined out to center his first time up. Not only has he hit in 18 straight overall, but he's hit in 12 straight against the Dodgers. So different than the first half of the year. These are back-to-back 3-2 counts for Ibanez in this game alone. That's a clear indication that he's seeing the ball much better.
Off a tough left-hander, too.
Back toward the middle, right off the mound, and that helps Jamie Carroll. Slowed it up a little bit, although he was shaded toward the middle. 1 away. Well, with 1 out here in the bottom of the third, it's time for us to remind you that it's our Thirst Inning. It's brought to you by Budweiser. It's the official beer of the Thirst Inning. You think that guy knew he was on camera?
Yeah. He's ready to toast the camera right there. That's good stuff.
1 out for Polanco. And a breaking ball over for a strike. Polanco extended his hitting streak to 11 games his last time up. He has scored a run in the last 3 games. Each of the last 3.
They've had a good approach to Kershaw tonight. You know, they're trying to make him throw a lot of pitches, trying to make him run some deep counts. And that's a good way to beat this guy. Because when he gets ahead of you with 2 strikes, he has put away strikeout stuff. Obviously with those strikeout numbers that he has.
All the TV sets in HD now. That shot of the green guy coming down the stands is bursting with color.
There's definition in that.
Well, there's definition, all right. He was doing some stretching with James Loney before the ball game. That was rather entertaining. Pop up, shallow right center field. Terrio backpedals, now fights the wind. Oof. That makes the catch.
How about that wind? Terrio, man, I'm back at Wrigley Field all of a sudden. So I thought I left this wind.
Well, he did the right thing. He went back to a spot and then ran it.
He's laughing too because he's backpedaling, going whoops. Then he kicks up a divot, makes a play.
He's got to replace that divot, doesn't he? It's still out there.
It's still there, yeah. I don't think he knows he did it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Well, I hope somebody replaces it.
It's like a 3-iron divot, not a wedge.
That would be my driver.
That's not good.
Nope. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Mike Sweeney. Sweeney singled his first time out. Little blooper to right. Looks like Sweeney's going to play more first base even against right-handed pitching, at least for the next couple of days, with Ross Glode on the shelf with that sore groin. Now, Ross was not put on the disabled list. Charlie Emanuel said today that he thinks in the next couple of days Ross could pinch hit. Ross said today that he was going to take some swings. He didn't think he'd be available tonight. He said he'd be kind of a last resort thing. as that's hit in the air behind home plate. Osmus keeps the mask on, and he made the catch before the ball hit the net. That is great concentration by Brad Osmus, and the side is retired. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. Here in the bottom of the third, a little defense from a guy who's a 3-time Gold Glover. He knows when to push the net out of the way and make the grab. The Phillies buy office supplies from W.B. Mason for amazingly low prices on office supplies, furniture, cleaning supplies, kitchen snacks, and Green Mountain Coffee. Who but W.B. Mason? Well, we go to the fourth here at Citizens Bank Park. Another sold-out crowd. Gary Matthews joins us here in the top of the fourth. Phillies trail at 3-1. Sarge, the way this game began, I wasn't sure if what kind of score it would be when you arrived.
Well, those 3 hits in a row, producing those 3 runs in the first, whatever reason. Joe Blanton having a hard time in the first inning. He seems to settle down, however, after that, and he's been doing just that.
Joe threw 38 pitches in the first inning, just 24 in the last 2 innings. It's all part of that settling down.
Now, in all fairness, too, though, it's not like they were really blistering the ball.
Dodger fan caught the ball.
Expecting high fives.
He got some cheers, but he also got some boos, too. Good catch, though.
Well,
we have to honor the game. Oh, that was a good catch.
Oh, it was. Goes right in the aisle, one-handed. Shows everybody that it was in his glove.
Had a stranger take a photo of him. Two and two the count to Brad Osmus. And a line drive caught by Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy was waiting for that to kind of rise up a little bit. It never did. So 1 away here in the fourth. I ask you this all the time. You know, pitchers have a tendency to struggle in the first inning. I don't know why. I mean, you say it's because they're not loose.
They're coming right out of the bullpen, so they should be loose. But for whatever reason, even the good pitchers or great pitchers have a tendency to struggle early on. And we would always say, get them early if you can. And guys like Nolan Ryan, J.R. Richard, or even a Sandy Koufax, you want to get them early because after they settle in, they're almost impossible to hit, but for whatever reason with Joe, he's had some problems.
Well, and Joe's tempo has been a whole lot better the last couple of innings as Kershaw shoots that foul down the left field line. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that he hasn't had a whole lot of base runners, so your tempo does change when you don't have base runners.
Well, it does, too, and to his fairness, it wasn't like balls were just hit all over the ballpark, more so in good placement, some jam shots, but they all count.
They all count. This guy was a hitter, so they would have counted for you.
Oh, definitely.
Kershaw's down looking. Second strikeout for Blanton, and there are 2 outs. And here comes Scott Posednik. Posednik's 2 for 2. A bloop single in the first, an infield single, his 3rd of the series, his last time up.
Well, he's really learned how to be a leadoff hitter. He has excellent speed. And he hits that ball in the hole to shortstop. Just about an automatic base hit. He is running from that left side, but he's really perfected that swing, and he tries to keep the ball out of the air.
Yeah, Jimmy's shortened it up a little bit at shortstop because he's burned him a couple times because of balls hit right toward him or to the middle. Look what he's done this series.
Right. It's been a little bit of a pain in the neck, to tell you the truth, getting on base and scoring runs.
He's been a knack. Well, Joe Blanton has won 1-2-3 inning tonight. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team in order, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. An appeal to third. Chad Fairchild says no swing.
Well, that's his game, though, to get that ball on the ground, try and score runs. Leadoff hitters, you score 100 runs, you figure you've had a great year.
On the hands towards second. Valdez hurries the throw. Mike Sweeney nearly fell off the bag, but the side is retired. Another 1-2-3 inning for Joe Blanton. He's retired 9 in a row. We go to the bottom of the 4th in a 2-run game. Pennsylvania Lottery. Get your game face on. Play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new Philadelphia Eagles instant game. You must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly. By Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And by Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota. Now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's National Clearance Event. Oh, we begin the bottom of the fourth. Jason Worth leads it off. Jason lined to center his first time up. He hit the ball well.
No, this guy's just right over the top. Fastballs. I mean, I'd be looking fastball about every pitch. He hasn't proven to me that he can get that breaking ball over consistently to look for it. And once he does that, then maybe you change your game plan.
Kershaw is 5th in the league in strikeouts with 153. Why is that?
Well, guys are probably looking for something that they can't really hit. But looking at the first few innings, all he's thrown is over-the-top fastballs, and there's another one. And when you go over the top, it makes it easier to hit, not only for left-handers, for right-handers, but left-handers. Not coming from the side and being a little bit scary on that left side.
Broke his bat. That's going to be a base hit, though, for Jason. He stayed in there, and the Phils have leadoff batter aboard. Hey, Sarge, some good news earlier today. Ryan Howard, his first activities on a field since spraining his ankle. And the big man was moving around pretty good, taking ground balls from Sam Perlazzo. Not only that, Chase Utley took ground balls and threw from second base. I talked to Chase today about his thumb. I said, were you happy yesterday that the doctor cleared you to start hitting a little bit? And he said he was, and he expected it. He said he had been feeling pretty good and thought they would clear him. So I said, you know, what are hitting progressions? And he said that he'll start to hit off the tee and take it slowly. He said he's going to be very cautious because, you know, he doesn't want to hamper his rehab by coming back too soon.
Well, that's the key, is being cautious, and especially for him because he has that threshold of pain that he can take, and that's just not something you want to mess with and then have that linger on into next year. You want to make sure it's completely well no matter what. But he has that type of heart that he wants to come back and wants to come back and contribute.
1-1 the count to Ben Francisco. Little toss over. Well, I had never heard the term hitting progressions before, and I have come to learn that that's hitting off the tee, just taking dry swings, which is just, you know, swinging the bat, seeing if that thumb is okay, and then progressing to maybe hitting in the cage, soft tossing, things like that.
Well, I think he'll get tested once he gets in and tries to check swing on a particular pitch.
Can you practice that?
To hold the ball. Well, it's not like a game situation. Sure, you can practice just doing it, but in a game situation, you really have a lot of strain on your hands to hold up. I just hope that's his token move. That can't be his real move that he has.
I would say that's one of the easier moves from a left-hander to pick up.
Yeah, that's it. He doesn't pick his foot up. At least he hasn't been very high picking it up. More so using that slide step.
Breaking ball, cut out and missed, and Francisco's down on strikes. First time tonight that he's thrown consecutive curves to a hitter.
And for strikes. Pretty good pitch, however, on the outside part of the plate. Take a look at it. See there, Francisco kind of anticipating in, hips are gone, and the ball's on the outside part of the plate as opposed to the inside, maybe where he was looking.
And with one away, here's Ruiz. Carlos singled his first time up. A little blooper in front of Matt Kemp at center.
Wow.
There he goes. Pitch is taken low. Ausmus has no shot. That was a great jump by Jason Worth.
Now, almost really pretty easy to read there from first base, because when he comes home, kind of leans going toward the plate. Wasted motion. Jason read that, got a great jump. No throw at all.
Well, we had a shot of Chase Utley talking to Cole Hamels and Roy Halladay in the dugout. Chase was kind of mimicking Kershaw's motion.
See how he leans right there, and then Jason just off to the races. Remember when he was throwing to first base, he actually kind of just slid and kind of made his foot go that way.
I think that's kind of what Chase was showing in the dugout. Not that he relayed that to Jason, but I think Jason and Davey Lopes picked up the same thing.
Now with David, it takes Davey just one or two throws to be able to ask the runner, why aren't you running?
First stolen base in his last 88 2/3.
That's hard for me to believe.
I think part of it too, Russell Martin had been pretty good throwing guys out behind the plate. And the slide step from Kershaw. Tried to check his swing. They appeal. No swing, says Eric Cooper. To it, to the count to Ruiz. Back toward the middle and under the glove of Terrio into center field. Werth's going to score, and the Phillies are within one. Second hit of the night for Carlos Ruiz. It's a 3-2 game. Terrio had no shot to throw Ruiz out at first, even if he got to that ball. What he was frustrated about was that he didn't get to the ball and keep Werth at third.
Yeah, trying to keep Werth at third. If he had him actually caught it, he would have done just that. Good things happen, however, when you hit that ball up the middle. Doesn't have to be very hard, as it gets right there past Terrio. Didn't have a chance to get that. Jason off to the races. See him as he turns around. That's what I'm saying. A base hit to center, you score.
Valdez looked like he wanted to give the Phillies the lead with that swing.
Yeah, got to get it down, however, just a little bit.
Carlos is 2 for 2. I think if you put a microphone in the dugout right now, Joe Torre and Larry Bowen, Bob Schaefer, and Don Mattingly would be saying, how does he do it? He kills us.
Well, I mean, he has a short swing. He can hit a fastball. Most of the pitches he's been hitting are fastballs. And he's very short to the ball now. Joe Torre giving signs whether or not to throw over or not. Or pitch out. Don't think they'll be doing that, however, with Carlos Ruiz there. Now, for me, again, this is a predictable count. Fastball. You know, he's tried to mess around a little bit with the breaking ball. You just want to make sure that it's down in the zone.
Three and one. Another hittable count, predictable count.
Well, I mean, this is where he's got two pitches. That fastball and curveball. So, I mean, I can't see him throwing a breaking ball now, especially not in danger with a runner in scoring position, even though you do have the pitcher coming up next.
He threw a fastball right down the chute.
I mean, that's not even really guessing. That's just almost common sense.
Common baseball sense.
Well, common baseball sense is right. I mean, you've seen him so long. Again, and his curveball, though, is slow. It's not that one that really bites down hard in the dirt. So you would have time, I would think, to adjust.
I wanted to see if Ruiz would be going on this pitch. I don't think there was any indication there. I think Charlie would send him with the pitcher on deck.
Well, I would think that he would not send him in this situation, just because that pitcher is next.
Over towards second, slowly hit. Terrio's got it. There's one. Carroll was off the bag as he grabbed that, but that happens all the time in baseball. And they get the lead runner. 2 outs, and Blanton is due up. Hey, Monday, August 23rd, one of the last opportunities to see the Phillies in the month of August. It's a 4-game series here at the ballpark. 3 night games against the Astros, then the day game. The win streak, Carlos Ruiz, Bob will figure in. That's free to all fans. You can get your tickets by going to Phillies.com.
Still thinking we have a chance to do a bobblehead every one of these days here, Tom.
I would think it would be a last resort, Sarge.
I don't think so. There's been broadcasters and several that have had that done.
I have a few of them. The Harry and Whitey one.
Okay.
Blanton rolls it to shortstop. And Carroll tosses underhand the second to get Valdez. The side is retired, but the Phillies chip away. They get one more. As we go to the 5th, they've made this a 1-run game thanks to a base hit by Carlos Ruiz. One-run game after Joe Blanton allowed the 3 runs in the first on 38 pitches. The last 3 innings he's thrown only 41, and his backstop has 2 hits, including an RBI single. And right now he's laughing with Ryan Theriot because Theriot, I think, just said something to him about that bounding ball up the middle that he couldn't get to in the last inning that Ruiz hit. So I like that, Sarge. I mean, there's, Ruiz is laughing knowing that he may have snuck an RBI in there. And he acknowledged that with Theriot.
Well, nothing wrong with it, and it's easy to laugh when you're the one that's sneaking the hit through.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know there was always some jawing that went on from one team to another.
Well, ours wasn't always that friendly.
Okay. Off the end of the bat, a little flare. That's going to be a base hit for Theriot. First hit of the night for Theriot. 5th hit in the series.
Well, look at that ball. That ball's headed right up the middle, and Theriot said, man, at least I should have knocked it down. Nickname in Chicago, Skates. That's because it was difficult for him to stay on his spikes all the time. Even taking early ground balls has a tendency to fall down when he was going after even fly balls. Good speed from LSU, college that he went to.
Here's Andre Ethier, and Ethier lines a base hit to right. Terrio is going to skate his way on to third, and the Dodgers have runners on first and third with nobody out here at the top of the fifth.
Well, talk about those shutdown innings. That's what he needs. Ethier, though, good hitter, getting those hands through on a fastball in. This guy's got a pretty nice stroke from the left side. So Blanton looking for a double play, or more so strikeout than a double play. That would kind of fit the bill.
Oh, that would be huge. Loney's line to left. He's walked and scored. So he's played the infield at double play depth. And a breaking ball in there for strike. It's 0-1. See the alignment of the defense.
Good pitch. That ball starting off the plate. All set up by that first curveball that he threw that was inside. He got that one called.
Joe has progressed nicely since the first. 38 pitches that first inning. Swing and a miss. He got the strikeout. He's a third of the way to your prediction, Sarge.
Oh, that's what he needed. And he did it in good fashion there, too. That curveball, then he had a two-seamer come back, and this one he just kind of just blew it right by him, right over the top there. See that ball coming in, and just in a terrific spot.
Just enough sink at the end to miss the bat of Loney. Now Belliard. He grounded to short his last time up, singled in the first, and he takes a strike on the inside corner. Joe trying to bear down.
He's got a great candidate for a double play because Belliard doesn't run as well as he used to.
He bunts it right in front of the plate. It's a fair ball. Nope, it's a foul ball. Excuse me. Todd Tischer, the home plate umpire, pointed toward fair territory, but he was pointing down, meaning the ball was foul. And it's 0-2.
I don't know if that was a little bit of a safety squeeze or not with Belliard. Appeared to be. The runner was getting ready to come in as he hit that bat. It looked like it might have hit that bat twice.
Yep, that's why he called it foul.
He's got that ball at 93. You can see Joe reaching back a little bit to get that 93.
Limited opportunities for Belliard, but he's been successful. The 1-2 pitch. Line drive to left field. Ibanez coming on, makes the catch. Terrio tags from third. The throw to the plate on one hop is not in time. Terrio gets the hand in. And it's a 4-2 game.
Boy, that was really close. Good throw by Ibanez. Ruiz trying to block the plate. One hop, that's what you want to do to freeze the runner. Throws that in run motion there as that ball comes in. Boy, I tell you what, it must have just been those fingernails that, well, he got plenty of plate on it, and it was a good call. He
Great
is
slide.
safe.
Great slide.
Terrio coming in around that plate. Great shot, guys, there. Well, that just shows you right exactly the way the play was, and it was safe.
Carlos had the plate blocked. You know, he was kicking Terrio to the backside of home. So Tishner made a nice call, and Terrio made a great slide. To the count to Kemp. Belliard has 2 RBIs tonight.
Well, not a lot of runners would have been able to make that at home. Got to have over above average speed. Can't just be an average runner that would have made that.
Line drive caught by Valdez. Side is retired, but the Dodgers get one more on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Roddy Belliard. But it was really the slide of Ryan Theriot that made that play. Dodgers lead at 4-2. Appointment keeps that appointment, be a part of what could be a record-setting blood donation in the Philadelphia region. Again, that blood drive is Saturday from 6 a.m. until 2 p.m. if you're signed up. And again, if you have an appointment, we want to make sure that you get there. Bottom of the fifth, it's 4-2 Dodgers. And the top of the order is up for the third time against Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw is starting to throw that curve a little bit more. Threw it a few more times last inning. And he starts Jimmy off with a breaking ball here in the bottom of the fifth. Another one. That was a slider.
Yep. Curveball and then a slider. Slider would look more like the fastball. But once he starts making those type of pitches, then that's when you have to look for them. And he just brought that out.
Jimmy's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and he's popped out of foul territory. And now he's struck out. Frozen on a fastball on the outside corner, one away.
I don't like to guess when I have 2 strikes, and if I am, I'm going to be hard and then adjust. But if you take a fastball like that, it tells me that he's looking for a breaking ball. If you're looking for a breaking ball, there's no way you hit that pitch. It's almost impossible to do. There's some guys that say they can look breaking ball and hit fastball, but I can tell you this, it's not going to be a good fastball like that one.
He's just throwing strikes now.
Well, you got to, and you stay with your strength too, though, as a hitter, and you're right about that. He's had the breaking balls in good spots.
Kershaw, we mentioned, is just 22 years old. He's won 23 games in his career, and 10 of those wins have come this year. Last year he was 8-8. He had an earned run average of 2.79. The year before he was 5-5, an ERA of 4.5. I think the first time teams saw Kershaw, they were marveling at his velocity and his composure for somebody who at the time was just 20 years old.
Well, he does throw hard. He's consistently there from 93 to about 95. But doesn't have that scary hook, because that was the one that would come at you and then break away.
There's a pop-up down the left field line. Belliard, the third baseman, tracking it with the wind, and he makes the catch.
Now, those fly balls a little bit easier tonight. That wind blowing the ball right back toward the field. So guys flip the ball around. See the way those flags are blowing. Any ball that's hit to that left field side, it just brings it right back and makes it an easy play for any of the fielders.
Two away, and Polanco, who's 1 for 2, he'll stand in. And he swings at the first pitch. Pops it up, straight away center. Wind brings it back for Matt Kemp. That was an easy inning for Clayton Kershaw. Retires the top of the order in order. 1, 2, 3. We've completed 5 here in South Philadelphia. Ruiz. The Phillies catcher is always there on defense, handling his duties behind the plate. Since the All-Star break, he turned the offense up 2 notches and is delivering for the Phillies at the plate. His offensive production has risen in all areas, including clutch hits when his team has needed them the most. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. On Jewish Heritage Night, it's the amazing bottle dancers and the fanatic. That's what was going on in between innings. Those guys were able to keep those bottles on top of their head the entire time they were dancing, and then they brought the fanatic along for the grand finale. And the fanatic could fit in with any kind of finale. The fanatic did right there. We go to the top of the 6th. Joe Blanton and the Phillies trail at 4-2. Jamie Carroll, Brad Ausmus, Clayton Kershaw. Bottom third of the order for Los Angeles. And Joe trying to get through the 6th. And if he has a quick inning, maybe the 7th. And that would be huge considering he threw 38 pitches in the first inning of tonight's ballgame.
Well, he's been pretty good, really, up to that point in giving those runs up. You know, still giving his team a chance to win. Not a lot of runs, 2 runs that they're behind.
Over toward third. Oh, skipped quickly to Polanco. 1 away. So 1 gone here in the top of the 6th. Sarge, we were mentioning some news around the National League earlier tonight, and I know you were probably watching. We mentioned that Chipper Jones tore his ACL and is out for the year.
Yeah, I saw that play, and it didn't look pretty when it happened, but then what he said about it, he heard a pop. That's the scary thing. And not only that, I mean, let's face it, he was getting injured and have been over the last 3 or 4 years. There's another player that you just can't replace.
Well, that's the thing. If you look at the Braves this season, they have been fairly healthy. They've had some, some nicks here and there. Chipper Jones has been nicked here and there. 1-2 the count to Ausmus. But they've been able to play, virtually injury-free.
Yeah. And you're very fortunate as a team if you're able to do just that. A lot of times you're going to have some injuries.
Ausmus checks his swing. They appeal. No swing. It's 2-2. Yeah, they had injuries at times to Chipper, as we mentioned. Escobar, who was with them at the time, was on the disabled list. Jason Hayward was on the disabled list. That's a pretty good pitch. It's a ball, 3-2.
So Charlie wanted that, not saying anything. You could tell by the way that Joe stood out there, like exactly where was that pitch.
Over toward the hole, and Ausmus has got a base hit.
Kind of looks back in again, Tom, there at the umpire. Well, is that what you want me to do? No, Joe can't afford to pitch up high. Have that sinker going, and there's a little smile there by Brad. But we have seen him tonight call balls that have been borderline low. Just want the umpire to stay consistent in whatever zone he has. He's called some low curve balls and fastballs.
Kershaw bunts that up the first base line. It's fair, and Ruiz will take care of the out. Up to second goes Ausmus. And there are 2 outs. Now the Washington Nationals will be here on Friday, August 20th to begin a 3-game series. The final game is the 22nd of August. That's at 1:35. It's ShopRite Cole Hamels Lunch Bag Cooler. Free to fans 14 and under. It seems only appropriate that with all the work that Cole and his wife Heidi have done in the Philadelphia School District over the last couple of years with the Hamels Foundation, that ShopRite will sponsor the Cole Hamels Lunch Bag Cooler. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Might be the Phillies fans' first chance to see Steven Strasburg. May not be their last chance to see him this year, but it might be their first one.
Well, they've been hitting him around a little bit more now, getting used to him, that fastball that he throws. Plus, with all the height, there's so many teams that really just get up for him, as another pitch is pretty close to the zone, not being called.
And now it's 3-0 to Posednik.
I tell you, Tom, those balls aren't that bad of pitches. That might have been a little bit inside, but balls were almost right down the middle. But pitchers just can't afford to throw the ball right down the middle when you don't have that explosive fastball. You got to work on the edges.
There's ball 4, and Posednik draws a walk. Rich Dubie, I think, is going to head over to the phone and get somebody up and loosening, just because the middle of this order is due up after Terrio.
Excuse me, Tom, you're right about that. And 109 pitches so far. They don't go. Chad Durbin warming up, but they don't throw many more after that 109. 110 pitches or so.
Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Terrio, who's 1 for 3. Scored on the sac fly the last time he was on base. Just a low, 2-1.
Just trying to get him to fish a little bit at that breaking ball. Just don't want to come predictable with his fastball, even though he's some sink on it here this last several innings.
And this is the guy you want because you have Ethier and Loney due up next. And Lotario is a pretty good contact hitter with 36 multi-hit games. Ethier, who's on deck, and Loney, those are the RBI guys for the Dodgers.
And those are the guys that will be able to hit that ball out of the ballpark. Terrio, not known as a home run hitter. You want to make sure that you throw him a strike, and only one to date.
3-1 the count to Terrio. On the outside corner, they throw behind Pasetnik, and it goes by Sweeney. Over to third goes Ausmus. That's it, though. Backed up by Francisco and Wilson Valdez. It'll be an error charge to Ruiz. That's his 5th of the year. And the error allows Ausmus to go over to third.
Yeah, just trying to help out Joe and be able to maybe get an out over at first base.
You know, a clean throw, and because Sweeney blocked the bag, they would have had him.
No doubt about it. Doing a great job in blocking the bag. He's put his whole body in front of him.
So runners on first and third. 3-2 the count. Pasetnik will be off and running on this pitch.
I think Sweeney should be a little bit deeper than what he is. He's just right behind that runner.
Runner goes, ball 4. The bases are loaded. Back-to-back walks to the leadoff hitter and the number 2 batter. And here comes Andre Ethier. Charlie Manuel is coming out to the mound. Gum goes aside. It's probably going to be it for Joe Black. 115 pitches. His career high pitches is 124. And Chad Durbin's already been summoned from the pen. So we've got a pitching change here at the top of the 6th. 2 outs, bases loaded. The Phillies trailing by 2. And this is a very important point in this ball game. Joe Blanton's night is done. Let's see what Chad Durbin could do when we return. Loaded. And Chad Durbin coming into the ball game after Joe Blanton patted on the back by Roy Halladay. He seems like he's heated at the home plate umpire, Todd Tischner.
Yeah.
Partly because of the at-bat to Scott Pasetnik, which Pasetnik wound up walking.
That's why he's just staring at him. I mean, he didn't want to do that coming off of the field and showing the guy up. But clearly, for me, there were several pitches that could have been called strikes.
Well, now it's Durbin in his 42nd game. Phillies only have one left-hander in the bullpen, and that's J.C. Romero.
Yeah.
And you have 2 lefties due up in Andre Ethier and James Loney.
Well, for me, this would be the time to have the left-hander in there and pitching because you have those 2 guys that can hit that ball out of the ballpark. Right now, you want to keep that score exactly where it is. That is Charlie's option to have that. But then for Charlie, he's got to have faith in that pitcher that he's going to come in and throw strikes. And to be quite frank, J.C. Romero just doesn't do that or hasn't done it consistently.
So Durbin throws a strike to Ethier, and it's no balls and 1 strike. See his numbers with the bases loaded. He has Auspis at third, Besednik at second, and Terrio at first. 2 down here in the top of the 6th. Fastball a little low, and it's 1-1. See, Durbin has stranded 8 of the 11 inherited runners this year. Over towards second base. He's going to get out of it. Valdez has got it. Throws to first. A nice job by Chad Durbin. The righty getting the lefty. That bails out Joe Blanton, at least for the time being. The Dodgers strand the bases loaded as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Snack wraps, everything you love about the Angus burgers in a wrap, just $1.99. McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Dodge dealers and by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for amazingly low office product prices. Bottom of the 6th, the Phillies trail it by 2. An important sequence of events took place in the top of the 6th because the Dodgers had the bases loaded and had the heart of their lineup due up, and the Phillies were able to get out of that jam, so they've kept it at a 2-run game. Chad Durbin came on to get the out in the top of the 6th in place of Joe Blanton. You got Andre Ethier to ground out to second. And here's Mike Sweeney. Sweeney's 1 for 2. And he pops the first pitch back and out of play.
Yeah, a little bit late on that fastball. But again, too, that situation, Tom, it looks like that's who Charlie feels confidence with. And bringing in Chad, a guy he knows that probably won't walk a batter. But again, very dangerous because he can hit that ball out of the ballpark, but he got him out.
And he's probably going to pitch the 7th. Unless his spot comes up here in the bottom of the 6th. There's a breaking ball that's hit foul by Sweeney. And it's 1-2. Mike Sweeney for his career, 1,532 hits. 213 home runs. That's a career.
Oh, no, he's had a great career. You know, he's playing with Kansas City most of his career.
It's that hard towards short. And Carroll to his right has it. 1 away. So 1 away here at the bottom of the 6th from Citizens Bank Park here in Philadelphia. Along with Gary Matthews, I'm Tom McCarthy. It's the final game of a 3-game series between the Phillies and the Dodgers. Not the last time that these two will face each other this month. The Phillies will head to Los Angeles, head to Southern California, and play a series against the Dodgers, the Padres, and then the Colorado Rockies for one. Dodgers are the last team for the Phillies to face here in 2010. They faced everybody else prior to this series. Jason's 1 for 2. 8-game hitting streak. Thanks to a single in the fourth. He stole second and scored on a base hit by Ruiz.
Well, it's been no secret how he's trying to get you out with those fastballs.
Looked like that gentleman had the assumption that Polanco would bat second and Ibanez would bat third before coming to the ball game today.
Yeah, well, that's why you do it in pencil.
I've done that before. I know what he's feeling.
You know, and I always do mine in ink, and that's what Harry used to always say. You ought to do it in pencil because it's usually going to be some changes, and especially if you're with the St. Louis Cardinals. Tony La Russa has a habit of always doing this as he swings through a breaking ball there. Just getting a little foul tip as Brad gets hit again. Well, those catchers take a beating over the course of a year. A lot of foul tips.
Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, how slow that curveball comes where a hitter gets a chance to take a good look at it. And as long as he's not pulling off, you usually can kind of foul it off.
Checked his swing. They appeal. Oh, he went around, says the first base umpire, Eric Cooper. And he's tagged out to finish off the strikeout. Just the 3rd strikeout of the night for Kershaw. I have to admit, naked eye, seeing him for the first time, I didn't think he went.
Well, yeah, I thought he did go on that third time.
Did you?
It was a fastball.
Yep.
As he gets help. I mean, a slider. That's that hard slider. That's the toughest pitch for a right-handed batter with a left-hander throwing it to lay off of, because you're thinking it's a fastball and you're trying to get out there on it, even though it was low and it had that hard break on it.
That's a great shot right there because you can see him sort of break his wrist.
Yeah.
Go to the top of the plate. Here's Francisco. And he hits it in the air to left center field. On the run is Pasetnik and Kemp. The wind brings it back a little bit, and he makes the catch, and the side is retired. So just like that, Clayton Kershaw's retired the last 8 batters he's faced. He'll take us to the 7th with the Dodgers leading at 4-2. Well, that Ryan Theriot slide has turned out to be a pretty big play because it's given the Dodgers a 2-run lead as we go to the top of the 7th. Chad Durbin, though, worked out of a bases loaded jam in the top of the 6th, and now he'll face James Loney to begin the 7th. And Loney hits that foul, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Okay, he did a great job coming in pitching to Ethier, and Ethier had beaten him with a walk-off home run last year at Dodger Stadium on a Saturday afternoon. So, you know, Charlie just felt he was better equipped at that point to get him out than the other right-hander in the game, the starter Joe Blanton.
1-2 the count to Loney. I think the key to that at bat was the fact that he worked ahead of Ethier, threw that first pitch breaking ball over for a strike. On the hands, a little looper into center. That's going to be a base hit for Loney. So Loney's aboard for the 2nd time tonight. Jason threw behind him.
And here is that Verizon Wireless game summary. They got 3 runs in the first inning to the Dodgers with 2 outs on 3 straight RBI singles. And then Joe Blanton, the Phil starter, knocked in a run with an RBI ground out. Carlos Ruiz, we talked about it earlier, he does hit the Dodgers. He's 2 for 2 tonight with an RBI and scored a run. Clayton Kershaw, you know, they look like they had him on the ropes there for a while. And to his credit, he's come back and shut him down the last few innings.
And he's gone away from throwing the fastball. I mean, he's thrown it, but not as much as he threw it the first few innings. Kershaw's starting to throw more breaking pitches and more curves, more sliders. And that seems to have kept the Phillies off balance the last couple of innings. It looks like he's got another inning in him. Artie Belliard takes a high fastball, and it's 1-0.
Yeah, they can shorten the game. That's the real strong point of the Dodgers with Quo and Broxton. And, you know, they're an inning away from that. If they, you know, if they get you out in the 7th, they a lot of times will go Quo in the 8th and Broxton in the 9th, and see you next time.
Runner goes, pitches lofted in the air, shallow left center, backing up his J-roll. He's got it, and his throw to first on a few hops, not in time to get Loney. And one away. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. One away, and Matt Kemp is the batter. Kemp singled home run his first time up. Hitless in his last 2 at-bats. And he hits one in the air deep to left field. That one is into the 10th or 11th row of seats. A 2-run home run, and just like that, it's a 6-2 ball game. 19th home run of the year for Kemp. He now has 66 runs batted in.
Yeah, he's really been struggling too, and they threw him a fastball, looked like middle in, and that wind is blowing so hard to left field. That thing kind of went clunk and went way out. And you worried about that with Kemp earlier in the game with some men on, that he might get one up. See it come running right back in, and he's pulling off anyway because he's struggling so much. And you know, with that pull-off swing that he has right there, that was right where he can handle it.
So the home run for Kemp makes this a 4-run game. Here's Jamie Carroll. Well, for a guy that's struggling, he's had himself a pretty good night. He's 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs.
Boy, all you have to know about how he's struggling, this is the first game in the series he started.
That is true.
And there are a lot of people who weren't even sure he'd start tonight. No, he's been deep in the Bow Wow Palace.
Tough to get into Joe Torre's Bow Wow Palace.
You got to work at it, and he has managed to do it.
I would think as tough as it is to get into Joe Torre's doghouse, it's probably even tougher to get out of it.
You better hit your way out, and that's a start.
I don't remember how Torre was as a manager with the Mets or the Braves. He was certainly different with those teams than he was with the Cardinals and with the Yankees. But one thing that he established when he was with the Yankees is that he was a player's manager. And it, you know, even listening to him talk to the media before a ball game, I mean, he still has that, you know, that same kind of personality where he defends the players and does it, I think, better than anybody in his pregame conversations.
He's very good at it. Joe keeps an even keel quite well, which is, you know, and I know a lot of fans don't like that. They want the manager to be ranting and raving and yelling at people and, you know, that kind of thing. It doesn't work nowadays. It's not going to play. Today's athlete, if you browbeat them, they'll quit on you, a lot of them. I don't mean quit, but they'll just kind of, you know, I don't need this. I'll go somewhere else. So, you know, you really have to have that ability to do those things you were talking about. There's a stolen base there. And Charlie's very good at that, too. He doesn't beat on them. I mean, he'll talk to them when he has to and discipline them. But, you know, if you stay after them all the time, they'll tune you out.
Well, I think they're somewhat similar, Joe Torre and Charlie Manuel, in their styles and the way that they handle the players.
Very much so.
That stolen base for Carroll is 8th of the year. And the pitch to Ausmus is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Six to 2 Dodgers here in the top of the 7th. On the inside corner, called strike 3. So Ausmus is rung up, and that'll bring Clayton Kershaw to the plate. Kershaw's 0 for 2, has a sacrifice bunt tonight. And a slider in there for strike 1. This will be Durbin's last inning. He's due to bat 3rd in the bottom of the 7th. And with the home run by Matt Kemp, the 2-run shot, he's going to need a little pop in that pitcher's spot to come back in this game.
Everybody moved. It wasn't called a strike.
Even the home plate umpire moved a little bit. Over to shortstop. Jimmy moves to his left in a few steps. He's got it, and the side is retired. So the Dodgers get 2 more runs on a 2-run bomb by Matt Kemp. It's his 19th of the year. He has 3 RBIs tonight. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Trivia quiz answer. Wheels, who is the only pitcher to win the Rookie of the Year, the Cy Young Award, and the Silver Slugger Award in the same season?
How about the great Fernando?
You would be correct. 1981. Fernando Valenzuela. He arrived on the scene and did so with a huge splash, kind of like a cannonball.
Phillies threw the first loss on him.
Yep.
Casey Blake takes over there to play third. Yeah, they beat him out at Dodger Stadium. Mike Schmidt hit a home run off him. That was a fun night, Tom, because Fernando was just the talk of the sport, and the Phillies went out there and got him that night.
Well, and it was all the talk, too, about Pete Rose and everybody else saying, hey, listen, we want that guy.
They did.
Yep.
Oh, they did. There were a lot of veterans on that. They were a year removed from the World Series, that team. Was that 81?
81.
Yeah. So, there were a lot of good players on that team.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
Had the strike that year. And there's a Pete Rose jersey. And the Dodgers, of course, wound up winning. They went to the World Series. They beat Montreal. Phillies and Montreal played in that awful split series.
Right.
Split season series. And then the Dodgers, Rick Monday hit the home run.
On a Monday.
Off Steve Rogers. And they went to the World Series and they beat the Yankees.
Yeah, they had lost to the Yankees in 77 and 78. And obviously the history of the Yankees and the Dodgers was pretty thick with losses for the Dodgers.
Right. They shouldn't have been in there in 77. We showed that last night.
Wills Davey said it's time to move on.
I can't. Sorry, I was here that day.
Just telling you, he said it's time to move on.
Can't do it. He's great, isn't he? He's so much fun to be around. He doesn't look like it when you look at him. Yeah, you threw him out. You know you did. Taking a look at Bo in the dugout.
Ruiz fouls it off. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That'll be one of the in the history of this franchise. That'll be one of the top 10 plays, I would think, for better or worse. Did a great job showing it the other night. Don Newcomb. I think Don Newcomb won that.
Ruiz golfs it to left, and Posednik makes the grab.
Newcomb may have been Rookie of the Year and MVP the same year. Like in the late 40s. Yeah, that's some research. Not going to go there, but I figured it had to be Fernando was the answer tonight.
I don't know if they gave up the Silver Slugger,
right?
Did they?
I don't know. Probably did, but I think Nuke, like 48 or 49, may have won both awards. He was, and you know what? Back in those days, he could have won the Silver Slugger.
I was thinking the same
great
thing.
Hitter that guy was. Still alive and living in Los Angeles.
It looks great.
Looks great. We see him at Dodger Stadium once in a while, and great man.
The great interaction is watching him walk around the batting cage, because he's always wearing a really sharp hat, and watch Sarge walk around with the same, kind of style, and those two guys interacting.
Well, Don Newcomb still is one of those guys I look at in awe.
100th pitch of the night for Clayton Kershaw, and Valdez fouls it back. It's 0-2. 6-2 Dodgers here in the bottom of the 7th. 3 in the first, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th. And for the Phillies, single runs in the 2nd and the 4th. And they have some work to do. Look out. There was a Vendor 178 right there. Was doing his job, making sure that the patrons were refreshed, and that ball was headed right toward his backside.
Yeah. That one would have hurt.
Swing and a miss. That ball was in front of the plate. Osmus applies the tag, and Valdez is rung up. How about this reaction? Jay Victorino returned from the disabled list today, a day earlier than expected. After tearing things up down at AAA, Rick Honeycutt's out to the mound and talks to Clayton Kershaw, with Hung-Chi Kuo loosening up in the bullpen. Phillies thought they would activate Shane before tomorrow's ball game against the Mets. There's Kuo. I said to Shane, I said, how did it go? And Lehigh Valley said, it went really good. He said, the only issue is that I didn't hit left-handed at all. He said, all I faced were left-handers.
Yeah, we were saying that last night. It seemed like every replay we saw of him, he was batting right-handed.
Well, he said there was a point where he thought about going up left-handed just to make sure he was healthy. As J.C. Romero loosens up in the pen for the Phillies. He said they discussed it, and I guess when he says they, he means the coaching staff at Lehigh Valley, and they decided it would be better to stay, righty against lefty. And he lines one down the left field line, but it's 2-1.
One thing Rick Honeycutt's talking to Kershaw about at this point is that get through this inning and you did your job, and you know who has the 8th and 9th with our club when we're ahead like this. That's what they try to do, is shorten the game this way. There's Rick Honeycutt. Good changeup. This guy's really dealing it. Since the 5th inning, 4th inning, it's been nothing. Up and down, up and down.
10 consecutive batters, including the two fielders' choice to finish the 4th. Ball 4. That breaks that string. And Victorino's aboard. Well, Shane is the first of the set of trios the Phillies have on the disabled list to come off. It was his first at-bat since the 27th of July.
And you expect them in order to be Shane and then Ryan Howard and then Chase Utley would be the third guy. Chase really watches the game anyway, but in the back of his mind he's thinking, I won't be facing that Kershaw because I'll be playing when the Phillies are in Los Angeles at the end of the month.
Yep. Brad Ausmus out to talk to Kershaw.
And even though Kershaw's a left-handed pitcher, you get the feeling that if Jimmy were to get on here, they'd go to quote a pitch to Ibanez, because Raul's hit some balls hard off him tonight. And the way the wind's blowing out to left field, you get one up there, game gets close real fast.
1 ball, no strikes the count to Jimmy. Takes a fastball for strike 1. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Twins lead the White Sox 3-1 in the bottom of the 4th. Orlando Hudson, he's missed some time this year. Couple hits, a home run. Collins dragged that one toward third. Victorino started then stopped. One and 2 the count. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, we showed that Minnesota-Chicago score. Winner of that game tonight will take over first place in the Central.
Oh boy. Almost got picked off.
He was a little delayed getting back to first.
Well, this guy has a really good move. You don't get many stolen bases on him. You saw the one Jason Worth guy. By the way, Don Newcomb was Rookie of the Year at 49. MVP Cy Young Award winner in 56 for Colts.
So he won all 3, but not in the same year.
Right.
Toss over.
Everyone's worried about Victorino right now. You talk about kind of a meaningless situation. They're the pickoffs that he has. He has a good move.
He didn't really show it. He didn't show it earlier when Worth was on first. Jason was picking up that move pretty easy, and they wound up stealing. Victorino goes. Pitch is taken high. No throw, and Victorino's in scoring position. That was an awfully close pitch. So it's full 3-2.
They're pretty much just letting him go right there, because he even used a slide step, and Ausmus didn't even think about throwing.
Ibanez waiting on deck. Fanatic's getting impatient.
Got to change the signs, Fanatic.
Ball 4. And the Phillies have 2 aboard. That may be it for Clayton Kershaw. Rick Honeycutt's going to go to the phone to make sure everybody's ready in the bullpen.
Game where he said even though Kershaw is a left-handed pitcher, he's gonna bring Quo in to face Ibanez, because home run here and it's 6-5.
No move yet, but Ausmus is going to buy some time. There's the call. And Honeycutt says, yep, he's ready. And Joe Torre's coming out to the mound. So that'll be it for Clayton Kershaw. He's going to be credited with 6 2/3. You can't close the line on him just yet because the 2 runners on are his responsibility. Back-to-back walks as he's tired a little bit here in the 7th. He still has a 4-run lead, but the Phillies' hottest hitter, or one of the Phillies' hottest hitters, Raul Ibanez, is due up. So that's it for Clayton Kershaw. Hong-Chi Quo is going to be next up for the Dodgers here at the bottom of the 7th with 2 outs and 2 on. Here at Citizens Bank Park, and another one's coming up on Sunday, September 5th, when the Phillies wrap up a series against the Brewers. It's the Jimmy Rollins T-shirt, free to fans 14 and under. Get your tickets for the 3 games against the Brewers by going to Phillies.com. Now the Phillies trail at 6-2. Clayton Kershaw's evening is done. His current line, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He hasn't allowed a hit, though, since the 4th. He's just walked his first 2 of the night. And that's why he was lifted from this game. And Hong-Chi Quo was brought on. Quo, lefties are hitting just .070 against him. And he's on to try to get Raul Ibanez.
And Ibanez has one of the hits, hit one right through the wickets on it in the game last night. And they said that's the hardest base hit off him of the 3 that he's given up this year. So that's why Joe went to him.
Raul's 0 for 3 tonight. And that first pitch nearly hit him.
Torrey's basically saying if I'm going to get beaten by a left-handed hitter here, it's going to be by a left-handed pitcher and a left-handed hitter. It's going to be Quo against Ibanez, and nothing against Clayton Kershaw.
They have Belisario loosening up as well in the pen. In the air to left center field, not that deep. Posednik started back. Now he comes in, makes the catch, and the side is retired. So the Phillies strand 2 here in the 7th. Hong-Chi Quo gets the only batter he needs to in relief of Clayton Kershaw. We go to the 8th. Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And buy your participating Philadelphia area Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. We go to the 8th here at Citizens Bank Park. And J.C. Romero is the new pitcher for the Phillies. He'll take over and face the top of the order, Scott Posednik. And he delivers a fastball for strike.
Well, Romero just needs a clean inning. He just needs to get some people out, throw some strikes, and get to the point where they can use him and he'd be effective.
41st game for Romero. He's really struggled the last few outings.
He's all over the place. You know, that's, and in the role that he's in, you cannot do that. You know, you can't walk people. Or if you do, it's going to be a problem.
On the hands, and he's ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes. The other night when JC came into the ball game, he struggled. And after the game, he sort of alluded to the fact that his arm was not right. Well, the next day he came back and said that his arm was fine. He was still trying to figure some things out. Charlie said before yesterday's ball game that he didn't know that there was anything wrong with JC and didn't think there was. And as it turns out, JC was just it seemed like he was just a little uncomfortable after the game the other night and was just searching for some things. The chopper slowly hit right side. Sweeney tried to make it happen quickly, and he boots it. That's going to wind up being a base hit for Posednik.
Guys like Juan Pierre when he gets all these infield hits.
Well, they charge an error to Sweeney.
Whoa.
It's a tough error.
I don't think he's going to get him, is he?
He may have if he fielded it and did sweep as fast as he was trying to. There. I mean, he was trying to get it there quickly.
Yeah, think about the runner when you score that play, right? I couldn't.
Here's Ross Glode. Ross has played well defensively in place of Brian Howard. Terrio's the hitter. And Terrio takes a fastball for strike 1. Think about a guy like Scott Posednik. We don't see him that often. He's been in the American League the last few years. Saw him for a time when he was in the National League early in his career. But he's the kind of guy, if you don't see all the time and then you see him for a series like this and he's been on base 8 or 9 times, you're thinking, well, he'd be a good extra man to pick up.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Wonder why he moves around as much as he does. But, you know, you have to see a guy for a long period of time to get a better feel, you know, for a player and his strengths and weaknesses. But when he first came up in the National League with Milwaukee, boy, he exploded with those guys with that speed. He had a little power. Had some good years for the Brewers.
1-1 the count to Terrio. And an off-speed pitch is hit down the right field line and out of play. .257 stolen bases, among the leaders in the majors since '04. Now he's among the leaders with 257, but he had a couple years where he wasn't really that good. He wasn't really playing every day or getting on base.
Right. Didn't he hit a walk-off home run the World Series against the Astros? I got to look it up. I think he did.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He did.
The White Sox.
The right center field.
Yep.
When he was with the White Sox and he beat the Astros in the World Series game. This was the ones you think about and you think, I don't know.
In the air to right field, Francisco is there to make the catch. And there's one away. Hey, remember when he did it? Kind of harken back to the '83 series when Rick Dempsey had such a good year or good postseason, and '84 when Kurt Bavacqua had such a good postseason for the Padres. All those strange names that just emerged during the fall classics that, you know, had good years but were never really star players.
Yeah, right. I mean, World Series will do that. You never forget Gene Tennis, what he did in that one World Series against the Reds.
Which one of the Doyle brothers in the '70s? Brian?
That was Brian. For the Yankees.
Yep.
Yeah, Denny was here.
Right. Saw Denny last week.
Yeah, he was here for the reunion last week.
Fastball for a strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
After not homering during the 2005 season,
That's what it was.
Posednik hit 2 postseason homers, including a walk-off in Game 2 off Brad Lidge. It was only the 14th in World Series history at the time.
Line drive over the glove of Valdez, and it's a right center field. Posednik, he was frozen at first, so he'll stop at second. I think he thought, and Valdez thought, that Wilson was going to catch it.
Let's see where this goes. Just over his glove, and that's what happens when you have to cheat for a double play like that. You know, he's up a little further. You have some speed at first, a little bit of speed. You know, at home plate at Terrio, and you can just get one over his glove like that.
32nd 2-hit game for Ethier, second one of the series. 6 for 13 in the series. So the Dodgers have 2 aboard with 1 away here in the top of the 8th. With 70 RBIs, the leader for the Dodgers this year. His hit tonight gave him 125 hits on the season. If they had a healthy Manny Ramirez and Russell Martin, where would you back this guy? Well, and if Matt Kemp was, you know, having the year he had last year, he wouldn't be the cleanup hitter, would he?
No. No, and Ethier's probably the 3-hole hitter.
Right.
Maybe 6th.
I mean, he's obviously had the ability to drive runs in, so you wouldn't bet him 2nd, although you could. But I was thinking that too. It was probably down in the 6th hole. Whacked that one off his leg, and it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Marlins have gotten underway against the Nationals. They lead at 2-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. Mike Stanton, he's raring to go again. A 2-run home run. He has hit in 6 straight at bats.
He likes that Nationals Park, huh?
Guess so.
And their pitching staff.
They had an hour and 57-minute rain delay. Swing and a miss. Loney's down on strikes. 2 away. Hey, if you're 30 years old or older, here's your chance in a lifetime. That's January 19th through the 23rd next year in Clearwater. It's Phillies Fantasy Camp. The package includes hotel accommodations, a fantasy game versus the Legends at Bright House Field, a Phillies uniform, and so much more. Call 610-520-3400. Don't forget, space is limited, so hurry and make your reservations today. Well, Charlie Manuel with the right-hander due up will go get the righty Jose Contreras. We have a pitching change here in the top of the 8th. Dodgers lead at 6-2, 2 aboard with 2 outs. Charlie's getting the baseball ready for Jose Contreras. He'll be the next pitcher for the Phils when we return. top of the 8th. Jose Contreras needs to get Casey Blake and get out of this inning. It's the 48th ball game for Jose. 6-3, a 3.40 earned run average. Casey Blake, who came on to play third in the bottom of the 7th, batting for the first time. He came on for Ronnie Belliard. Had a good night. Belliard had a couple RBIs. Well, Joe Blanton started the game, and Joe went 5 2/3. He allowed 4 runs and 8 hits. He walked 4. And Chad Durbin, J.C. Romero, and now Jose Contreras, who's on with 2 aboard. And a line drive towards center. Here comes Jason Worth. He has to play it on a hop. Pacetic's going to score easily. Going to third. Ethier, the throw on one hop. Not in time. An RBI single. It's 7-2 Dodgers. Jason hesitated just a little bit, and that gave Ethier a clear path to go to third. He did a nice job getting to that ball on one hop, because it was sinking fast. Yeah, it was. It was coming down in a hurry, and he's in between a little bit right there and catching it and trying to make sure he blocks it. You know, he blocks it, he catches it. That's good base running by Ethier. I mean, it's 2 outs. He's running at the crack of the bat, so he's able to go to third. Well, now Kemp will hit. But you better make it, because that'll be the third out at third base. And never a good thing. They probably won't use Quo now, I would think. Now with a 5-run, I don't know. Wind blowing out. But now with a 5-run lead, they may go to somebody else in the 8th. And I don't know if they even use Broxton now. Yeah, Belisario's been loosening up in the bullpen. Kemp didn't run as that ball drops in for a base hit. He'll still get an RBI single as Ethier scores. Blake goes to third. It's 8-2 Dodgers. He thought it was foul. Well, Kemp has 3 hits tonight. He's hit a home run and 2 jammers. And he has 4 RBIs. Now the inning's kind of blowing up on the Phils. Yeah, there it is. He runs a fastball in, a good pitch. Kemp stands there and watches it. Ball's 10, 15 feet fair. The wind kind of blew it back. He closed the line on J.C. Romero. The 2 runs that have scored in the inning are his responsibility, although they're inherited runners for Contreras. And Jamie Carroll's the batter. And they're unearned. Unearned because of the error charge to Sweeney to start the inning on the ball hit by Pacetic. .31 hits for the Dodgers in Game 1 ends here in Game 3. Farron will pick that up and make that youngster a happy guy. Over toward the hole. Polanco can't get it. Jimmy can't get it. Another run scores. Nobody's at third. Now Polanco is there, and so is Kemp, and he's safe. An RBI for Carroll. It's 9-2 Dodgers. Well, the ball looked like Polanco was going to catch it. The sinker, fastball, and it goes under his glove right there. I thought he had gotten there, and just under his glove right there. And now it goes into the outfield, and everybody's running for the ball. Nobody's at third base, and it's good base running by Kemp. Ausmus, the 8th man to bat in the inning for the Dodgers. They batted around in the first. 8 men come to the plate here in the 8th. It's 9-2 LA. They've scored 5 runs the last 2 innings. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. 2 more in scoring position.
Well, you know, Joe Blanton gave up 4, but the 2 games they've lost in this, or one they've lost and one they're in danger of losing, the bullpen's giving up a lot of runs.
Hospice tries to hold. He went, says the first base umpire Eric Cooper. The side is retired. 3-run score in the inning. All 3 runs unearned because of the error to Mike Sweeney to start the 8th. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Matt Kemp for the Dodgers lead it by 7. That's Jeremy Piven in the acclaimed comedy series Entourage, where the day-to-day life of a Hollywood actor is anything but ordinary. Weeknights this fall on MyPHL 17. Oh, this was a 2-run game just a couple innings ago. Now all of a sudden the Dodgers have stretched their lead to 7.
Phillies have gotten it from 3-0 at the start of the game to 3-2. It looked like it was going to be a pretty good game tonight, but nope, not to be.
And now Ronald Belisario comes on to pitch in his 37th ball game. 1 win, 1 loss, an ERA of 3.93. Just his second game since coming off the restricted list. He pitched in game 1 of the series between the Dodgers and the Phils. After the ball game, the Phillies will head to New York. They'll play 3 games up at Citi Field against the Mets beginning tomorrow night. And then it's right back here. An off day on Monday. And they're right back home. We mentioned at the start of this homestand, 16 of 19 here at Citizens Bank Park. And if the Phillies wind up losing tonight, well, they would, begin that stretch 3-3. Polanco leads it off here in the bottom of the 8th. Polanco's 1 for 3. And a fastball for a strike. Outside, and Polanco's ahead, 2 balls and 1 strike. I mentioned before all the news that was going on in the National League today with Chipper Jones with his torn ACL. Francisco Rodriguez suspended 2 games by the Mets for allegedly assaulting his father-in-law. And Major League Baseball also handed down its suspensions and fines from that Reds-Cardinals brawl from the other night. A foul ball, and it's 2-2. Johnny Cueto was suspended for 7 games by Major League Baseball. Now that's significant because, a lot of times you'll see a pitcher suspended for 5 games, which means he misses just 1 start. Although Cueto will miss just 1 start again, it's 2 extra games. And then there were fines for Chris Carpenter, Yadier Molina, Brandon Phillips, Russ Springer. And for both managers. Polanco lines one to center, a base hit.
And Arusa and Dusty Baker get 2 game suspensions
right.
too, and managers don't appeal. They have to start them right away. So they're both off tonight. So they will miss 2 games.
A leadoff single for Polanco. He has 2 hits tonight. And that'll bring Mike Sweeney to the plate. On the outside corner with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 0-1. Fouls it off, and it's 0-2. Mentioned earlier that Sweeney's played first base tonight. Will probably play first base the next couple of nights while Ross Glode recuperates from the groin strain. That one's back toward the middle. Another base hit. As Sweeney moves Polanco up to second, 2 aboard here in the 8th for the Phils. I think a lot of people were surprised after seeing the kind of pain Ross Glode was in last night that the Phillies hope that next couple of days he might be able to pinch hit.
I know I was. Got here today and there's Ross and saw Charlie and said, you know, you're going to have to DL Glode. He said, I don't think so. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, Glode already talked about it.
Glode was pretty optimistic about it.
Thought he could pinch hit in a few days. But that looked nasty last night.
He's a last resort, he said tonight. And he said that would be determined on how he would swing earlier today.
Well, they have an off day Monday too, so you know you could conceivably see him getting through the whole weekend and not play, and then be ready to be used on Tuesday when the Giants come in.
Off the glove of Ausmus, the runners move up. Polanco to third, and Sweeney to second.
Now they scored that. That caught a lot of leather, but he really had to reach for it.
They scored a wild pitch to Belisario.
Yeah. You can see it hit the glove, but as I mentioned, he really had to reach for a wild pitch. They're just trying to work Belisario back into their bullpen so that they can use him and be effective. Get him some work here. Now the game blew open to 7. If it didn't stay where it was, Poe was going to pitch the 8th inning.
They start to stir out the Dodgers bullpen. George Sherrill, the lefty's up and throwing. Henry Jansen, the right-hander, we saw him last night. He's going to start to throw too.
Yeah, those are 2 of their serious guys at the end of the game.
3-0 the count.
Belisario is the guy trying to get some work. Man, he walks chasing work, and his work night may be over.
Polanco's over at third. Sweeney's at second. Fouled it back, and the count is full, 3-2. Down to their final 6 outs. Rally cat time starts a little early. Back toward the middle, and that sneaks into center, a base hit. 2 runs are going to score. An RBI for Worth. He's made this a 5-run game.
Jason got a high fastball there, a tomahawk. They got right on top of it. Hit it back through the middle into center field. Didn't hit it that hard, but hit a perfect spot. Friday is ball 4, as you'll see here. Right there it is. It's ball 4, but he got on top of it and hit it hard through the middle. Not hard, but he hit it through the middle, found a spot, picks himself up a couple of ribbies.
Rick Honeycutt's coming out to the mound after that base hit by Jason Worth. There's no change just yet. Those guys just started loosening up. Buying them some time. And Ben Francisco is the batter. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Todd Tishner coming out to break up the conversation. Francisco tonight is 0 for 3. He's grounded out. He is struck out. He's flying to center. He's a guy who came into this game red hot. 6 for 18 in August. Now 6 for 21 with his 0 for 3 tonight. And he takes a fastball for a strike. So funny watching the catchers throw every ball that's in the dirt out. As soon as it goes in the dirt, now they just reach back and ask the umpire for a new one.
It didn't used to be that way. Old Dodgers, not old Dodger Stadium. There was a period of time Dodger Stadium had that red brick infield, the dirt. It was red, and every ball hit the ground there. They had thrown them out then. Even though some of their pitchers like to scuff them. They didn't get a chance to scuff those.
Chops that foul into the seats. Into the seats looking like a Super Bowl, and it's 2-2. Step to third. There's nobody there.
That's a fake to first.
That's a ball.
That's a ball. Isn't it? You can't fake the first. Well, he did step off though. But you know when you, I don't see if you step off. You know they're going to come out. And you're not allowed to argue a balk, but you can question it. See, does he step off? No, that's a balk. I guess they're going to say he stepped off somehow, but you know you cannot fake the throw to first. That's why they always have communication when the guy's going to play off a runner at first, you know, so they don't look over there and then fake a throw.
Right. Well, that was my thought. Is that you know if you, I don't know, maybe you're right. Maybe they're saying he stepped off. Now Todd Tischer's going to talk to Mike Riley.
Yeah,
I think once he steps to third and doesn't step off, it's a ball.
I did too. That's what I said too. I mean, I don't know what they could have seen there. You know, that's interesting, too, because balks are like balls and strikes. You're not allowed to discuss them or argue them. And, you know, they know the Phillies have a point here where they have to at least talk about it.
It's a lack of concentration by the pitcher, too.
Oh, yeah. It's like I thought he had a first and third.
There it is. He's going to
the ball. Gotta be. Now, here comes Joe. He's got to come out and talk to him about how did that just happen? I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
So Joe Torre's going out to talk to Todd Tischer. Watch it again, right there.
And he faked it first. Now what he's probably saying is if it's first and third, you can do that. I don't know. I've never seen that before. I can't wait to find out exactly what happened there.
I think the rule is You know, if it's first and third, then the base runner at first knows that there's an intent, you know, to chase the runner back at third before there's a throw over to first.
Okay. I don't know.
He's being more deceptive than anything. The pitcher is. I don't know if he's allowed to do that.
Well, Torrey's point is going to be, how all of a sudden did 4 guys not call that, and you got together, and now you did? And plus, they have a 5-run lead, so it's easier to take.
2-2 the count to Francisco. In the air to left center field. That's pretty well hit. Pasendek going out into the alleyway. He's not going to get it. A one-hop off the base of the wall. Scoring easily from second. Worth an RBI double for Francisco. Hey, it's a ball game again. The Phillies trail it by 4.
Yeah, Ben shoots that ball down the alley in left center, got up in the wind, and it really took off. Here it comes. Belisario, the fastball came middle in, and boy, it shot out there off the Southwest Airlines sign. Jason Worth scores, down by 4.
And Francisco is safe and secure at second base. Safe and secure with New York Life. Well, Belisario is no longer secure in this game, and he's being lifted for a new pitcher. Joe Torre out to the hill. He took the baseball from his right-hander. Another right-hander coming on. With nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th, the Phils have pulled to within 4. Restricted list just activated before this series. He's given up 3 runs so far this inning on 4 hits, and he was not happy. Don Mattingly tried to slide out of the way of that deflected glove.
Boy, guys hate that on the bench. You know, there's no excuse for that nonsense. And, you know, managers, coaches, they get hurt doing that. You know, I know it happens once in a while, and that is the type of thing that causes fights in dugouts.
Well, Kenley Jansen is into his 8th game. Second time he's appeared in this series. He hasn't allowed a run. 4 hits. That's it in 7 innings. And he comes on with Ben Francisco at second. And nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. Phillies, well, they have a chance to get even closer.
Well, they have some left-handed moves off the bench in Dobbs, Schneider, and Brown. We don't, as you mentioned, Tom, we don't think Lode's available. And so they'll keep Sherrill up for them.
Ruiz 2 hits tonight. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Francisco thought about going to third. Broke and then stops.
No reason for it. There's nobody out. You're down by 4 runs. He shouldn't even be thinking about going to third base right now.
But it won the count, 92 at the knees, and it's evened up against Ruiz. Braves are off today. Phillies, they win, can pull to within 2. Giants have already won. Phillies are a game and a half back in the wild card. Outside. Time was called.
Because Ben Francisco was dancing around out there, and he had Jansen's attention, and Carlos Ruiz got tired of it, stepped out. That's my point. You know, you let the hitter hit here. You're down by 4 runs.
3-1. I like Carlos calling time, not only because he wants to make sure that he's set, but also this is a young pitcher. You make him stir a little bit. Valdez is in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, and you know, they have to explain to him when the game's over that runner at second base, it's like he's not even there. Forget about it, right? That may be what Terrio just told him. Don't pay any attention. We're not worried about him right now.
Carlos fouls it back toward the Hall of Fame club. Down the right field line, and he'll slice out of play. And the count remains 3-2.
They really like Jansen. They think he has a chance to be good. He's so young, and there's a lot of teaching involved. But a catcher who is now a pitcher, and they like his makeup, and they think he has a really good arm. And time will tell.
He's taken to the switch to being a pitcher, you know, pretty calmly.
Well, he couldn't hit. So, you know, if he wanted to get where he is right now and get Major League meal money, this was the way to do it.
Carlos rips it. Oh, diving play by Blake. And he throws out Ruiz.
What a momentum switcher that could be. Oh, that's through first and third, maybe even a run.
That's a heck of a play.
Great play.
As they put Blake in a couple innings ago as a defensive replacement, he has an RBI and a really good defensive play.
That ball was scalded by Carlos Ruiz. Here it is. He just all over this, and Blake just full extension, and he is a really good third baseman and showed it there.
One out for Wilson Valdez. Dominic Brown's come out of the on-deck circle. He'll pitch in for the Phillies. Valdez this evening 1 for 3. He'll turn back to chase Francisco to the bag. Hospice reacted as if that wasn't a foul ball. The home plate umpire called it a foul ball, but he jumped up and went after it pretty quickly. That's right. Hold it up. Get that foul ball from Emily. Hold it up. Get yourself on TV. Phillies trying to get a couple more runs here in the 8th. Keep chipping away. They have one more chance in the 9th if they can't get it done here in the 8th. Back toward the middle. That's going to be another run. Francisco's around third. He's heading for home. Kemp's throw cut off by Loney. An RBI single for Valdez. It's now 9-6.
Well, he showed that graphic there on Wilson Valdez, what he's done in these situations lately. Now 5 out of 6. As he scores Ben Francisco on the base hit. Kemp's not going to throw that ball home because they want to make sure the runner Valdez stays at first base. Here it is. Nice piece of hitting right back through the middle. Sam Perlazo has him coming all the way, and you see Kemp just throws that back in towards the middle of the diamond. And here comes Joe Torre to bring Sherrill in.
So George Sherrill's going to come on. He's a left-hander to face the left-handed hitting Dominic Brown. He's just been introduced as a pinch hitter for the Phillies. Joe Torre didn't think he needed to use his bullpen that much tonight, particularly when his team led it 9-2. But this is the third pitcher he has used in this inning alone. So with one out here, the bottom of the 8th and a runner at first, we've got a pitching change. Just 3 with one out here at the bottom of the 8th. And the Dodgers have had to use their bullpen here in the 8th. George Sherrill at his 46th ball game. 1-2, a high earned run average. But he's been way better against lefties than righties. And he's got a lefty to deal with. Wilson Valdez, who had an RBI single, is aboard. And Dominic Brown pinch hits for the Phillies. Brown overall hitting .237, a home run, 11 RBIs. When he hits one down the left field line, it'll slice out of play. There has been a couple of times that Brown against lefties has kind of been overmatched, but then there have been other at-bats where he's hung in there, and he's done a pretty good job against them. He may not have all the hits to show for it just yet, but you can see that he's a confident kid. And a fastball swung on a miss. It's 0-2. Kershaw 6 2/3, 6 hits and 2 runs. Dodgers bullpen 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs.
Look out in their bullpen now. The guy that big, they're going to be one person. That's got to be Brodsky. He's had some history with that guy too. There he is.
I guess they bring him in here in the 8th.
I bet. And Jimmy, part of that history. That hit he got last year.
Outside, 2-2.
That play that Blake made. Wow, that's the only out they have in this one. Yep.
2-2 the count to Dominic Brown.
Man, he took that. It was outside. It was really close.
What's left of the 44,000 plus coming to their feet. In the air to left field. Towering shot. Besednik moves back and over. 2 outs. Valdez draws the throw. So Dominic Brown is retired. And back to the top of the order for Jimmy Rollins.
And Charles in this game through Ibanez. Because if Raul Ibanez were to come up, he'd represent the tying run. So you want the left-hander on the mound.
Kind of neat looking at Raul in the on-deck circle. Looked like he just made himself a home plate in the dirt. Get himself ready, trying to time Sherrill a little bit. 2-0 the count to Jimmy. Valdez leads off first. Should be 0 for 3.
I'll take here. Get that tying run up.
Ball 4. And the tying run is coming to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th.
Really saw this coming, right? This inning started. Unbelievable. 9-2 when this inning started.
Phillies have batted around. Two for 2 against Sherrill. The inning began with Polanco's leadoff single. He came around to score. He's waiting next. Jimmy's on first. Valdez is on second. Good speed on the base pass for the Phillies. There's Polanco. Ibanez, an 18-game hitting streak and the game on the line.
He's hit it hard tonight, too, a couple times.
Sure has. To the right side. Theriot will go to second to retire Rollins, and the side is retired. The Phillies bat around in the 8th. They get 4 back. So that means they've made it a 3-run game as we go to the top of the 9th. The Dodgers lead at 9-6. As we go to the ninth, we say it again. It's up to the bullpen to try to keep this a 3-run game. Danny Baez, he'll be called upon to pitch in his 43rd game. 2 wins, a 5.54 earned run average. And he'll face a pinch hitter in Jay Gibbons as we start the ninth. Gibbons overall 4 for 9 since being called back up from the minors. His first home run since 07 earlier in this series. And you see his career numbers against Danny Baez. 3 for 12 with a couple walks. Oh, and 2 the count. Phillies in their half of the ninth will have Polanco, Sweeney, and Worth. So they'll try to get one more shot at the Dodgers in their bullpen. And it's going to be Jonathan Broxton. But first, they got to get through this top of the ninth. Right side, right through the hole. And Gibbons is aboard with the leadoff single. Bullpen tonight has allowed 5 of the 9 runs to score.
Phillies haven't had a pitcher yet tonight. Unfortunately, they've been able to not give up anything. And that's kind of like that first game of this series, where they keep trying to catch up, but it's tough.
Well, here's Pasednik, and he's been a thorn in this series. Pasednik has scored twice tonight. He has a couple hits. He's been on base 4 times.
And you not only cheat for a double play with this guy, you cheat in a little bit more because of his speed. And it gives him a lot more room to slap a ball through. Look how shallow those infielders are, how much they're in.
On the outside corner, it's even now 1-1.
Double play depth, and then there's that.
Taking a long look over at Larry Boa. What a 2.
Jimmy Rollins made him laugh the other night. He said that when we got that shot of him laughing out there, he said, Pasednik's like you. He just takes it. He runs while he hits it. That's what he used to hit.
Over towards short, that could be 2. That's one of the only ways you could double up Pasednik. It's hit hard and hit right at the fielder, and he's right around the bag.
You let it hit the mound and take a nice big hop.
Of it too.
Yeah. That is beautiful. Yeah, he is tough to double. I mean, he's tough to get out anyway. But watch it hit the mound, boink, right like that, and it jumps right up. And they were cheating up the middle and shallow for that double play. And well, you talk about a nice hop, doesn't get any nicer than that.
Terrio, there's a hitter with 2 outs. A chopper over the mound. Tough play. Valdez has it, throws off balance in time. Another side is retired. No runs, a hit, nobody left here in the top of the ninth. Danny Baez makes sure that the Phillies are down by just 3. Last chance with Placido Polanco to lead it off. probably didn't think this would happen tonight, but they have to turn to Jonathan Broxton to try to close it out. 47th game for the big man. 4-3, a 2.91 earned run average, 21 saves. He's blown 4. And the same scenario as the 8th. Kicks off the 9th. Polanco, Sweeney, and Worth. Rally caps were spun and fitted in the 8th. And the result, 4 runs. See his career numbers against the Phillies. That's the regular season. Now the National League Championship Series, you saw the numbers were heavily to the side of the Phillies. And this is what happened the last time we saw Jonathan Broxton.
Looked like we're going to go back to Los Angeles for sure. Pitch was middle into Jimmy Rollins. He shot it right in a perfect place. 2 runs scored, and the Phillies beat the Dodgers, and then, of course, went on to win the next night and go to the World Series again. And the Dodgers looked like they were going to be able to send the game back to their home ballpark, and nobody wanted to go there. There was still one more game in Philadelphia, of course, and then 2 remaining out there, and they got it over in 5.
It was explosive that night here in Philadelphia. Let's see if it can be explosive again.
They've gotten him 2 years in a row in the Game 4. The year before, of course, was Matt Stairs.
Polanco leads it off, and he takes a fastball in. 1 ball and no strikes.
I think Broxton just has not been himself. You know that his fastball doesn't have the same velocity, his slider doesn't have the same bite. That one was 96.
First time he's worked in this series.
Well, this guy, a lot of years, lights out when he would come in. You know, he would just throw so hard and then mix in a slider. And then the Phillies got him in the playoffs.
He says that the playoffs from 2 years ago wasn't in his head last year.
Oh,
and that got him. Polanco's aboard. He's hit by a pitch.
Luckily, it just grazed him.
So he's aboard. 1 more base runner, and that means the tying run will be at the plate.
Thank goodness this doesn't hit him. Look, it's headed right for that elbow again, and it just hit his uniform. If Broxton nailed him there with a 96 in that area, that elbow, oh boy. And it just grazed him.
Just grazed the bottom of the 2-7.
Yeah, and it was right near the elbow.
It's been 9 days since Broxton's last save. Here's Sweeney. There's a slider, and he has to throw the strike out.
I think the Phillies a lot of credit for this game. There's a lot of heart the way they've come back and gotten after the Dodgers, because look at the Dodgers taking the heart out of them with that 3 spot in the 8th.
Even the 2 in the 7th.
Even the 2 in the 7th, right, on Kent's homer.
2-0. Veteran catcher heading out to the mound. Doesn't say a whole lot to try to get Broxton back in some kind of rhythm.
Not necessarily a guy you would think about throwing a ground ball double play, because he's a strikeout fly ball pitcher, but he does have 4.
The Fanatics got a counterpart. Followed the technique, and he's carried it over. And he just guided that one for a strike at 95.
Yeah, and Sweeney's in take mode there, too, because, you know, you want to get the tying run up there, and he's thinking, boy, Broxton's all over the place. Maybe he'll walk.
Sweeney has 2 hits tonight. He singled his last time up, singled back in the first.
That's the first strike the guy's thrown.
With 5 balls, 1 strike.
Slider. Oh. I guess it caught the corner. Kevin Titchener says. He thinks it's outside.
I think it's outside.
Yeah, it's where they caught the front of the plate.
Oh, boy.
Sure caught it outside.
2-2 the count. He's probably thinking, as that pitch is coming in, I got to swing at that, don't I?
He threw another breaking ball right there. That shows you that he's not feeling his fastball right now, his command of it, that's for sure. Throw a 2-1, a 3-2, a 2-1, and another breaking ball after that. Man.
He is determined. And a 3-2 pitch coming to Sweeney. Staying alive.
It's tough pitches take. You know, it was close. He throws a 97 fastball in that spot.
Chance of beat LA ringing through the stadium. He's chanting, and he's also trying to put a spell on Broxton. That time.
And that was a strike. This guy's got to go 280, 290 out there. He is huge.
He's a big cat. Man's working up a sweat. Watch out, dude. Blanco goes. Ooh, fouled it off. He got a good pitch to hit. Charlie trying to mix it up a little bit there with the count 3-2 and nobody out. He hadn't sent Blanco in the previous pitches.
Well, that's Davey, yeah, and a lot of that's with Davey and Blanco talking over. You know, they just feel they can get there. The one thing you hold your breath on is a line drive double play when you're down by 3 runs.
Outside ball 4. The tying run is coming to the plate.
You kidding me? He threw him a 3-2 slider. Wow. Unbelievable.
Joe's going to get at bat.
Torrey's coming out to talk to him himself right now. Yeah, great at bat, as you say, Tom, by Sweeney, but a 3-2 slider, 3-run lead. Man, in the 90, and you've got a 97 fastball working. You get that.
It's a 9-pitch at bat. He just asked him, do you trust your stuff?
Yeah, because, right, that's what we're saying. He doesn't trust his fastball right now. You throw a 3-2 slider, come on. You know, I know Sweeney was fouling them off, but he's fouling them over his own dugout. You know, it's not like he's out there yanking them where you think, oh, he's really on me.
Well, he said he trusts his stuff when Torrey asked him that just a second ago. We'll see. Jason Worth tonight.
Oh, that's a veteran manager with a clue, Ron. That's a question like that. Like, you trust your stuff, you want me to go get somebody else.
Challenging him without really challenging him. Tying run is at the plate. Nobody out here in the ninth. 1-0 to count. Well, he may trust it, but he can't get it over right now.
He is pitching away from the bat, especially after he hit Polanco.
This turned out to be some pretty good theater the last couple innings.
Great stuff.
There's a strike. 97. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, if you're sitting in the Dodgers dugout and you see your guys throwing 97 and he's throwing sliders, you go, what are you doing? Now, that doesn't mean you don't mix one in or go for the kill with one or something, but not in some of the spots and the counts he's using.
The runners lead off, now being held on.
And one there.
Watch his lips on those wheels. Right there. Do you trust your stuff? Great stuff. I want to ask you something. Do you trust your stuff? We were just sitting in the dugout talking. We were just wondering.
Me and Rick were wondering.
2-1 the count to Worth. 3-1.
Well, they've been watching these meltdowns lately, and you know, they've seen it before, and they aren't used to it with Broxton.
Francisco waiting on deck, watching Polanco lead off second, Sweeney off first. It's 3-1 to Jason Worth. He thinks it's all him, and maybe it is. Ball four, the bases are loaded. How about this inning?
I think they almost got to have to get
I would think so. Yep. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they're just going to let it ride.
Yeah. Sometimes that's what a manager will do. I mean, this is this guy in this spot, and he just, I'm going to live or die with him.
Ben Francisco is the winning run here in the bottom of the ninth. Nobody out. The bases are loaded.
You don't have to get it all with one swing here, but that'd be all right.
Phillies trailed at 3-0 after the first, 4-2 after the fifth, 6-2 after the seventh, 9-2 going into the bottom of the eighth. And there's a strike. They scored 4 in the eighth to make it a 3-run game.
Slider. He just doesn't have confidence in his fastball. So he threw a slider for a strike when he really needed one.
Chopper toward third. Right between the 5-hole. 1-run scores. Here comes Sweeney. How about that? It's a 1-run game.
That's a double play ball. Get 1 RBI on it. A double play ball. Wow.
How about this game? Earlier, he makes an unbelievable play in the 8th inning. And then Casey Blake just came up, and the ball stayed down. And they're saying, watch the bunt here.
Here it is. I mean, it's hit hard, and it's a double play ball. Right here, what did it get, an in-between hop? A little bit, and it just stayed down, and Blake didn't. Right through the wickets. Now what do you do here? You bunt?
I think you almost have to.
And a tough guy to bunt off. Broxton with that hard fastball. Wow. They're talking about it, you know.
Carlos 2 for 2. Couple doubles against Broxton. The Dodgers have the corners pitched in with Worth at second, Francisco at first, nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, they have to look for a bunt here.
And a guy who's one of the best butters for the Phillies is at the plate, Ruiz.
Phillies don't have a hit in this inning.
That's amazing.
Yeah. You bet it is.
Ruiz didn't show anything as Broxton stepped back to second.
And they want to make sure they know what the bunt play is right now.
Yeah, you've got an inning that that is spinning every which way right now. And if you're the Dodgers, you're thinking it's spinning the wrong way. The Phillies the other way. And Carlos is swinging away, and he takes a pitch for a strike. Carlos tonight has 2 hits, An RBI, a run scored.
That he didn't show a sign of bunt there. Said backed up just a little bit, but they're not going to give up on it for the Dodgers because they can't. They can't be surprised here.
Outside, 1-1.
I mean, it would be appropriate if Ruiz does something heroic here after all the things he's done to the Dodgers over the last.
Absolutely.
Kidding around earlier about Boa saying that, you know, Johnny Bench is due to have a big game tonight. Because he has killed the Dodgers.
28 come from behind victories for the Phillies. Trying to make it one big number 29.
Pinching him in the outfield. Kemp pretty much straight away.
In the air to left center field, toward the alleyway. This one's going to be tied. It's off the top of the wall. The Phillies may win it. Francisco's right behind Worth. Carlos Ruiz, a two-run walk-off double. How about that?
Johnny Bench. He said it. Unbelievable. That is the most amazing thing you'll ever see. They win this game on one hit.
One of the most incredible come-from-behind victories that this Phillies ball club, with all of their success, has seen in the regular season under Charlie Manuel.
What are they going to do? They're looking for some kind of ground rule double, it looks like. But that didn't get stuck out there or anything.
Nope. A fan didn't interfere with it either. Unbelievable what has happened here at Citizens Bank Park over the last two innings. Down 9-2, the Phillies win it 10-9.
And he gets beaten on a slider. And Carlos nails that thing. Look at the bench. They know this ball is in the alley. And it's got a chance to do some major. Here it comes. Broxton just gave up on his fastball. Here's a slider. Yeah.
It worked, he says.
That's amazing. Just amazing what Carlos Ruiz does to these guys. They're right there. You know, they were trying to get a fan interference, but that ball hit right on the top of the padding out there.
He crushed it.
He crushed it, and both base runners did a very good job. And here they come.
Francisco was unbelievable. He was on the heels of Jason Worth. And Carlos Ruiz, our Chevrolet player of the game. And he's down on the field with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. Carlos, here we are again. Game-winning hit. Tell me about that pitch there in the last inning.
Yeah, man, I was so happy, man. I was looking to go pitch to hit, and he threw me a slider right in the middle, and I was ready for that. I was looking something soft right there, and I know he want to give me one, and I got it, so I was so happy. That was a nice win.
I tell you what, here's a guy that throws the ball 95, 97, and you're sitting on his slider there. You got a good pitch, but you've been making a habit late in the ball game of being able to deliver.
Man, that situation you gotta look for one pitch. You don't have to be between. You gotta make sure you gotta go pitch to hit. If he throw that pitch, you gotta get it. So that happened. I was so happy, with the win, and that's a good comeback.
Hey, well, now they've gone from the giving us the stuff in our face with the pie. Now we got Gatorade, and I got to let him know I got to send him a cleaning bill. But congratulations and continued success.
All right, thank you.
All right, Carlos.
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. We'll make sure that shirt gets cleaned. I don't think Carlos cares. He's feeling pretty good about himself. That's an unbelievable night here at the ballpark. This is why he's feeling so good. He absolutely crushed this ball to the alleyway in left center field, and then his teammates crushed her between first and second as the Phillies win it.